What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories.
2 He. Chapter 26 This is cooking, isn't the bullshit you cook. Open black lens bracket seeking flowers evaluation close black lens bracket. Lan Fei has so many tricks. It can make so many dishes from such a big porcupine. Seeing Lan Fei put a dish in front of Menchi and Buhachi, Chia couldn't help being envious. Lan Fei can cook. Gon was surprised. The two had grown up playing on Whale Island. He had never seen Lan Fei show off his cooking skills, and even Mito Aunt didn't know about it. Unexpectedly, in this second cooking test, Lan Fei could come up with so many dishes. It looks delicious and delicious. This guy is hiding deep enough. Kurapika was also curious. Everyone has been eliminated, and only Lan Fei is left. However, the female examiner's requirements are so strict, no matter how many tricks there are, I'm afraid I won't be able to pass her test. Lirio adjusted the glasses frame and watched with interest. This guy actually turned the whole pig into a whole pig feast. So what? Even if there are many dishes, I'm afraid it won't meet the examiner's appetite. I have used my thoughts, but it's a pity that the end will be the same as ours. Is this a foul? Foul. The theme is only to use pigs as dishes, but there is no rule that it must be roasted whole pigs. Yeah, it's completely possible to cut open the whole pig and make some simple dishes, but we are too lazy and casual. Bah, even if I ask you to cut up a whole pig and make some simple dishes, I'm afraid you don't have such knife skills and cooking skills. When Lan Fei sent the 8 dishes he made to the 2 examiners, everyone couldn't help whispering. Tisk tisk. The mind is used, and the knife skills are not bad. Of course, the appearance is also good, but I don't know how it tastes. Looking at the 8 dishes in front of me, the female examiner Menchi, who was not optimistic at first, became interested at this moment. Because, Lan Fei's cuisine is different from other candidates. Almost all other candidates are roasted whole pigs, and they are either burnt or half-baked, which is a complete desecration of food. Even if Kurapika is made into a hamburger, it just has an appearance, and the taste is not satisfactory. What's more, Lan Fei has now spent all his time making a whole pig feast, which has as many as 8 dishes, and this method is not against the rules. Menchi, you should have an appetite now, right? The appearance of these 8 dishes is quite exquisite, comparable to those of top chefs. Even a gourmet hunter like me may not be able to cook them. Behind Menchi, Buha licked the corner of his mouth. If he was not too full, these 8 dishes would not be enough for him to squeeze between his teeth. I'm not like you, even if it's unpalatable, you can eat it. Menchi gave Buhachi a hard look. 2 examiners, please taste it. Lan Fei smiled slightly, he was full of confidence in his 8 dishes. This is a dish made by inheriting the culinary skills of a super chef, how can it taste bad? Anyway, you're the last candidate left, so I'll take a bite and see. Menchi nodded, took one of the dishes into his mouth, and chewed carefully. This. After a while, Menchi's beautiful eyes widened, his hand holding the chopsticks trembled, and he stared at the food in front of him in disbelief. Okay, there is a reaction. Could it be too unpalatable? Let me just say, even if it's a whole pig feast, it's not to the taste of the female examiner at all. It seems that all of us were eliminated in the second exam. All the candidates this year can't pass the second test, which is too dramatic. Don't be too happy, seeing the expression of the female examiner, why do I think it's delicious? Want to try Lan Fei's food? Yeah, this guy always hides his secrets, and the dishes he made are probably very suitable for the appetite of the female examiner. Wouldn't he be the only one who passed all the candidates? Immediately, all the candidates held their breaths, waiting for Menchi's comment on Lan Fei's cuisine. Too delicious. Simply delicious. Amazing. The best pork I've ever had as a gourmet hunter. At this time, Menchi exclaimed directly regardless of his image as a gourmet hunter. It's really so delicious. Seeing Menchi's gaffe, Buhachi directly grabbed the dish in front of him and poured it into his mouth. This. Too delicious. It's amazing to be able to make such a delicious dish from the big-nosed mad pig. The chewiness of the meat, the fat of the meat, and the tenderness of the meat all arouse the taste buds. Even if it's us, I'm afraid we can't cook such top-notch cuisine. This little guy will definitely become the top gourmet hunter in the future, the ceiling of the gourmet world. After tasting, Buhachi couldn't help getting excited and immersed in the aftertaste of the food. Little guy, how did you do it? After tasting the 8 dishes, Menchi slowly put down his chopsticks and looked at Lan Fei expectantly. She really wanted to know how this 13-year-old examinee in front of her made such amazing dishes that even the gourmet hunter was amazed by. Sorry, Lan Fei shook his head politely. This is the culinary heritage of the super chef Xiaodao, and I can't explain it for a while. Okay. Menchi shook his head with a wry smile, then took a deep look at Lan Fei, and said meaningfully, you have passed. What? Passed? I don't agree. Why can we eliminate all of us because this kid can pass? That's right, I don't accept it either. It's absolutely unfair, I don't accept it. Out of hundreds of candidates, he was the only one who passed, I don't accept it. Hearing the results announced by Menchi, many students raised their hands in protest and expressed their dissatisfaction. If you are not convinced, you can come up and taste it yourself. These are the real gourmet dishes, the ones you make are shit. Seeing that other candidates were very dissatisfied with the results he announced, Menchi immediately became angry. Chapter 27 The ceiling exists. President Netero arrives open black lens bracket seeking flower evaluation close black lens bracket. Humph. I'd like to see how delicious the so-called real gourmet food in your mouth can be. At this moment, candidate number 16 Tonpa snorted coldly, walked up to the female examiner Menchi, grabbed a piece of meat from the remaining 7 dishes, and stuffed it directly into his mouth. Okay. This is. As soon as he put it in his mouth, Tonpa felt an unprecedented sense of satisfaction. After chewing continuously, he seemed to be trapped in the package of delicious food. How can it be so delicious? There is such a delicious pork in this world. With staring eyes, Tonpa is completely immersed in Lan Fei's cuisine. Is it really so delicious? Seeing Tonpa's intoxicated appearance, other candidates also walked forward one after another and began to share the gourmet dishes cooked by Lan Fei. It tastes really good. This is the best food I've ever eaten. How can the meat of the big-nosed mad pig be so delicious? No, it should be this little guy's cooking skills. Hisoka also grabbed a piece of meat, tasted it carefully, and was immediately conquered by the gourmet dishes cooked by Lan Fei. Tisk tisk, the taste is really not bad. If you can pass all the exams, you should be able to become the top food hunter. Jitalaiku glanced at Lan Fei, and said to himself, interesting little guy, no wonder Hisoka has taken a fancy to him. Too delicious. This is the best meat dish I've ever had. Lan Fei's cooking skills are as good as gourmet hunters. Why didn't he find out before? And Mito Aunt didn't find out either. I am convinced by the gourmet dishes made by this guy. Yeah, this is not qualified, so who else can qualify? Gon, Chiya, Kurapika, and Lirio also tasted the gourmet dishes made by Lan Fei one after another, and they were all full of praise. The food is good or bad, you will know it once you try it. It's not that I mean to make things difficult for you. Okay, I'm announcing now that the second exam, candidate number 406 Lan Fei, passed. Menchi slowly raised his hand, announcing the final decision. Shut up, even if candidate number 406 has passed, I still refuse to accept the decision of the 2 examiners. Our goal is not to be some kind of chef, nor to be a food hunter, but to be a bounty hunter. Yes, what qualifications do hunters like you have to judge us? That's right, we don't accept it. As soon as Menchi finished speaking, candidate number 255 took the lead in making a fuss, and other candidates followed suit. Sorry, this year, our gourmet hunter will be the examiner for the second exam. Please work hard next year. Menchi sat back on the sofa, crossed his legs, and looked indifferent. What are you kidding? Candidate number 255 was enraged instantly, and rushed towards Menchi directly. Is this guy crazy? Lan Fei was startled. Even if you are not convinced, you can't do anything to the examiner, right? Although these 2 are gourmet hunters, they are also related to hunters. How can you shake their strength? Boom. Just when candidate number 255 rushed in front of Menchi, Buhaji behind Menchi raised his hand directly, and blasted candidate number 255 into the air with a heavy punch. Uncertain. Buhachi, mind your own business. Menchi shook his head helplessly. What can I do? If I don't act, he will die. Buha gave Menchi a white look. 2. Menchi nodded, got up slowly and walked down the steps, and glanced at all the candidates. Although our gourmet hunters are only looking for ingredients for gourmet dishes, we also have the ability to go deep into the layers of beasts, so it's best not to provoke us. Otherwise, you candidates will die. Hey, this guy Menchi's bad habits can't be changed in the end. Only one candidate passed the second exam, which is absolutely not acceptable. At this time, on a giant tree in the deep Biscayne forest, Sachi slowly put down the binoculars, then took out a communicator from his pocket and dialed it. At the same time, under the blue sky and white clouds, an airship hovered several thousand meters above the sky. What should we do now, President? Wearing a suit and having a frog face, the staff member slowly hung up the communicator. That can't be helped, I can only go out and walk. If I don't pass, I'm afraid this year's hunter exam will end in the second round. An old man in a white robe and clogs sitting on a gorgeous wooden chair slowly stood up. This person is none other than Isaac Netero, the chairman of the Hunter Review Committee. Back to Biscayne Forest Park. Only one person is qualified, what a joke. Is this the end of this year's hunter exam? I don't agree. What a joke, unless you kill me, I really can't accept it. Yes, I don't agree with this result either. Hearing Menchi announce the final result, all the candidates except Lan Fei were very angry. Whether you accept it or not, it is impossible to change the unqualified decision anyway. Menchi spread his hands. Humph. At this time, Hisoka, who had been silent for a long time, let out a soft snort, and slowly lowered his hands behind his back, holding a poker card between his fingers. Even so, only one candidate has passed, is this too strict? Just when Hisoka was about to attack Menchi, an old voice suddenly resounded through the sky, and an airship was slowly approaching, hovering over the crowd. Wow. In an instant, everyone looked up, and their eyes were attracted by the airship. That's the logo of the Hunter Association. Is it the review committee? One student exclaimed. Finally come. Hunter's ceiling, President Netero. Lan Fei raised his head and stared at the airship. Whoosh. Boom. As soon as Lan Fei finished speaking, President Netero's figure fell from the hatch of the airship like a cannonball, hitting the ground heavily. The ground was directly cracked, and a wave of dust swept out, filling the entire garden. Chapter 28. the new examination venue, Toad Tiger Mountain, seeking flower evaluation. Caw, caw, caw. With the sound of footsteps coming from clogs, the dust wave disappeared, and Netero came out calmly with a long face. Then, who is that old man? Feeling the endless pressure on President Netero, a candidate couldn't help swallowing. He is the chairman of the review committee and the highest person in charge of the hunter exam, the chairman of Netero. Seeing the old man falling from the sky, Menchi stepped forward and introduced to all the candidates. President Netero. Gon's eyes lit up suddenly, and the amiable old man in front of him turned out to be the highest person in charge of the hunter exam. President of the review committee. Chia also stared at President Netero curiously. This old man's strength can be regarded as the strongest in this world. Lan Fei thought to himself. In his cognition, Chairman Netero and Chiya's grandfather are both people who stand on the top of the ceiling of the world. In the Ant King chapter, Chairman Netero even fought an unprecedented battle with the Ant King. Although he died in battle in the end, the Ant King was no better. With the 8 gates fully open, I wonder if I can confront this old man head-on. Lan Fei narrowed his eyes, staring at President Netero with great interest. Ha ha ha, although I am the highest person in charge of the hunter exam, I am just a staff member. Probably like this kind of problem that is happening now, I will stand up and be responsible for negotiating. Menchi, when you test whether they have the courage to challenge unknown things in this exam, you think there is something wrong with their attitude, so you will judge them to be unqualified. President Netero put his hands behind his back, his slack eyelids were slightly raised, and he glanced at the female examiner Menchi with his cloudy eyes. No, it's because the examinee made a disparaging comment about Food Hunter, that's why I got angry, making the review standard even stricter than originally planned. I'm sorry, it's my own lack of consideration, it's my dereliction of duty. Menchi gritted his teeth and took the initiative to admit his mistake in front of President Netero. Since you also know that you are unfair in the review, then. President Netero paused, but he was interrupted by Menchi before he finished speaking. President Netero, I will immediately step down as an examiner and ask the president to take the exam again. Well, it is very troublesome to find other examiners to substitute temporarily. President Netero nodded, and continued. I have a way, please continue to be the examiner of this exam, but you also have to take the next exam, to set an example for them and these candidates, just do it for them. What do you think of this decision? What do all of you candidates think? President Netero glanced at all the candidates present. Can. Menchi nodded. Do it all over again. This can be. I accept it too. As long as the review is fair, I'm fine. Yes, we are fine. Many examinees have clicked, and they all feel that the solution of President Netero is acceptable. By the way, there was a candidate who passed before, which one was it? At this moment, President Netero seemed to think of something and asked. Hearing this, Lan Fei directly raised his hand. Oh, not bad. When Menchi loses his temper and affects the fairness of the assessment, you are still able to pass. This means that you have been recognized by Menchi, and your talent in gourmet cooking is really amazing. Little guy, come on, I like you. President Netero narrowed his deep, cloudy old eyes, and took a deep look at Lan Fei. Thank you, President, for the compliment. Lan Fei scratched his head and smiled. The other candidates might be jealous that he can get the praise of the old man with the ceiling. Lan Fei, President Netero praised you. I'm really envious. He is the highest person in charge of the hunter exam. Gon turned his head to look at Lan Fei, eyes filled with admiration. Lan Fei is really good to get the approval of the chairman of the review committee. Lirio secretly thought, feeling envious in his heart. Since President Netero still insists on letting me be the examiner of the second exam, the next new topic, boiled eggs. Menchi glanced at all the candidates calmly, and finally landed on Lan Fei. She really wants to know what kind of fresh experience Lan Fei, a little guy with superb cooking skills, will bring her in the next new project. Boiled eggs. What the hell is this? Suddenly, many candidates murmured. President, can you use this airship to take all our candidates to Toad Tiger Mountain? Menchi withdrew his gaze from Lan Fei, and then looked at Chairman Netero. Toad Tiger Mountain, of course. President Netero nodded. Half an hour later, the airship slowly landed on Toad Tiger Mountain. Candidates got off the airship one by one. However, when they stepped off the airship and saw the scene of Toad Tiger Mountain in front of them, everyone was shocked. In front of him was a desolate mountain top surrounded by cliffs, and under the cliff was an endless deep forest. In the middle of the mountain top, there was a Bazong Grand Canyon that was like a cliff-like fault. Okay, everyone, please take a closer look at the cliff. Menchi was the first to reach the edge of the Bazong Canyon. Behind him, candidates followed suit. What is that? Standing on the edge of the canyon, Gon couldn't help but exclaimed. Isn't it too dangerous? Lirio was taken aback. This exam is a bit challenging. Chia hugged the scooter, his eyes lit up slightly, flashing a ray of excitement. That's the nest of the grape spider. Lan Fei stood on the edge of the canyon, his heart began to itch. Grape spider nest. I actually built a nest in such a place. Kurapika was secretly shocked. Suddenly, a gust of wind swept over, flying sand and rocks, and many timid candidates became terrified and could not stand still. Look carefully at the bottom of the nest. That's the egg of the grape spider. At this time, the female examiner Menchi reminded. Boiled eggs. Could it be that these eggs are the ingredients of gourmet cuisine? Hearing this, the candidate number 255 who was punched by Bu Haji in the Biscayne Deep Forest Park couldn't help but exclaimed, and fell to the ground with his *** in shock. Chapter 29 Fair and Just, Lan Fei refuses to take the new round of exams open black lens bracket seeking flowers evaluation close black lens bracket. In order to protect its eggs from natural enemies, grape spiders only build nests in deep canyons. Therefore, its eggs are also listed as one of the most difficult and precious ingredients in the world. Just when those timid candidates flinched, the voice of President Netero came from behind him, and he walked to the edge of the canyon step by step with his hands behind his back. Menchi Examiner. At this time, Lan Fei looked at the female examiner Menchi. I have already passed the gourmet cooking in Biscayne Deep Forest Park, so I don't need to take the next exam, right? This. Menchi hesitated. Lan Fei was indeed qualified before, but she still wanted to taste Lan Fei's gorgeous cuisine again, so she wanted Lan Fei to participate in the theme of boiled eggs. Yeah, Lan Fei is already qualified, so there's no need to take risks with us. Gon nodded of course. Didn't you hear President Netero's words? All candidates have to take the boiled eggs assessment again. Xia winked at Lan Fei. Almost forgot, Lan Fei is already qualified. If it were me, I wouldn't take any more risks. Kurapika muttered. That's right, Lan Fei fully participated in the hard-boiled egg assessment. Lirio adjusted the glass's frame. No. After thinking for a moment, Menchi glared at Lan Fei, showing a meaningful smile. President Netero, is this unfair to me? Seeing Menchi's refusal, Lan Fei's eyes fell on President Netero. Menchi, this hard-boiled egg-themed assessment, the little guy Lan Fei doesn't need to participate. President Netero said lightly. President Netero. Menchi gritted her teeth. In order to eat the gourmet dishes made by Lan Fei, she could only look at President Netero with a cheeky face. Menchi, you declared him qualified. The hunter exam is about being fair and impartial. President Netero's face darkened. Okay. Menchi spread his hands and turned to look at Lan Fei. Since President Netero has spoken, you don't need to participate in the following boiled egg-themed food. Gon, Xia, Kurapika, Lirio, you four should work hard. Lan Fei grinned and patted Gon on the shoulder, cheering and encouraging for the four of them. Then, this hard-boiled egg-themed assessment begins now. Menchi took a deep breath, walked towards the edge of the canyon step by step, and then jumped. Whoosh. In an instant, her figure fell rapidly under the shocked eyes of everyone. Oh my god, isn't this crazy? The bottom of the canyon is bottomless, even if you got the egg, how did she come up? Lirio opened his eyes wide, staring at Menchi's figure. How can I say that they are also gourmet hunters, so don't worry. Lan Fei folded his arms around his chest, watching all this with a calm face. Anyway, he doesn't have to participate, just be an outsider like President Netero, just watch the fun. Whoosh. Just when everyone was shocked, Menchi, who was falling at a high speed, threw himself onto a spider silk, leapt forward with his nimble body, picked off a giant grape spider egg, and then let his body fall continuously into the canyon. It's over, this is simply suicide. Seeing this, Lirio patted his forehead and took a few steps back in fear. Call. Just when everyone thought that Menchi was about to fall down the canyon and be smashed to pieces, an updraft swept up from the depths of the canyon. Menchi, who had fallen, rose slowly under the lifting force of this updraft, and finally jumped back safely, in place. Okay, I got the grape spider eggs. Next, I will use this egg to make hard-boiled eggs. Holding the giant egg in one hand, Menchi glanced at all the candidates with a smile on his face. This is too much fun. Seeing this, Xia was the first to jump into the canyon. Xia, wait for me. Gon didn't hesitate at all, and jumped down towards the canyon. Kurapika, Lirio followed closely behind. Seeing that all four of Gon jumped down, many daring candidates no longer hesitated, and jumped down with gritted teeth. Of course, there are still many timid candidates who are struggling with their hearts at the moment, but they finally gave up. It seems that these people have given up. Lan Fei glanced at the dozen or so candidates who were too timid to flinch, and couldn't help shaking his head and sighing. A person who doesn't even have the courage to take risks is not qualified to be a hunter. Giving up is also a kind of courage. Netero on the side will look at Lan Fei with a calm face. This is the pursuit of our food hunter's life. For the sake of food, we are willing to risk our lives. Menchi looked carefully at the giant egg in his hand, then turned and walked towards a cauldron that had already been prepared. At this moment, under the cauldron, a fire started to burn. Anyway, I don't want to be a food hunter. Seeing the old man Netero staring at him, Lan Fei shrugged and didn't care. Huh, this kid number 405 can actually feel the changes in the updraft with his keen hearing. It's really not easy. This year's hunter exam is much more interesting than previous years. At this time, President Netero leaned forward, overlooking all the candidates who jumped down the canyon, and quickly noticed Gon's actions. That's natural. Whether it is hearing, eyesight, or smell, among all the candidates present, no one can match. Even if it's me, I can't compare. For Gon's ability to express his opinion, Lan Fei also sighed. Being able to smell the coming of a storm, to recognize a ferocious fox that looks like it, and to feel the updraft of nature, this ability to listen to nature cannot be learned by Lan Fei. Little devil, you are not bad. I'm more interested in you than that brat in No. 405. President Netero withdrew his gaze and stared at Lan Fei with a half-smile. President Netero, you old man should put your mind on other things. I'm not interested in men, especially old men. Lan Fei pouted. Ha ha ha, you kid, interesting, really interesting. Hearing Lan Fei's words, President Netero couldn't help laughing heartily. Whoosh whoosh. At this moment, Gon Chi and others relied on the updraft to return to the ground, holding the giant egg of the grape spider in their hands. Apparently, they succeeded. Of course, not everyone was so lucky. This time, 1/3 of the candidates who jumped off the canyon fell directly off the cliff and were crushed to pieces. Chapter 30 Scary as hell, the speed of President Netero open black lens bracket seeking flower evaluation close black lens bracket. Gululu. Not long after, all the giant grape spider eggs brought back were put into the cauldron. The fire was very hot, and the water boiled quickly. I'm really looking forward to it. This is a delicacy that you can exchange your life for. Gon stared at Cauldron Power's giant egg expectantly. Yes, this is one of the most difficult and precious ingredients in the world, and it should taste good. Chia is also a curious baby now. After half an hour of cooking, the giant egg is finally cooked. All the candidates were assigned their own dome, and they all started to feast on it. Of course, those candidates who gave up naturally did not have this blessing. Wow, it's delicious. The hard-boiled eggs sold in the market are simply incomparable. At this time, the examinees tasted the hard-boiled eggs in their hands one after another, all intoxicated by the temptation of delicious food. It really deserves to be known as the dream egg, it's so delicious. Kurapika took a bite and smiled contentedly. Lan Fei, I'll give you half of this. Gon slowly broke the boiled egg in half and handed it to Lan Fei, who was drooling. I'm not hungry. Lan Fei put his arms around his chest and said something that was not what he meant. Hee, I saw you swallowing, and you still say you're not greedy. Eat, you and my brother still care about these. Seeing Lan Fei desperate for face, Gon couldn't help but glared. Okay. Lan Fei scratched his head, took the other half of the giant egg from Gon's hand, and tasted it with enjoyment all over his face. This is too delicious. I knew I would have jumped down to get a few up. Lan Fei couldn't help but marvel at the delicious taste of the grape spider eggs. Although it is only the simplest cooking method, it also has unexpected deliciousness. In fact, in Lan Fei's opinion, whether it's a bounty hunter or gourmet hunter, they must have a great awareness of life and death. Unlike the bounty hunter, the food hunter takes risks for a variety of out-of-print cooking ingredients. Half an hour later, the sky gradually dimmed, and the airship slowly lifted off and flew away from Toad Tiger Mountain. All the candidates who bravely jumped down the canyon to get the grape spider dome on Toad Tiger Mountain passed the exam smoothly. Now, they boarded the airship to the third test venue. After the second round of exams, there are only 42 of you left. Inside the airship, President Netero stood in front of all the candidates, and beside him was a staff member who thought he was wearing a suit and had a frog face. I'm sure everyone knows my identity, right? I'm Netero, the top leader of the Hunter Examination Review Committee this time, and next to me is the Secretary Domian. President Netero glanced at the 42 candidates. After 2 rounds of exams, there are only 42 people left out of 400 people. It's really a cruel knockout round. Gon smacked his lips. Except for the second hard-boiled egg-themed assessment, there is no challenge at all. Chia pouted. This can eliminate so many people, it's just waste. I don't know what kind of challenge this third exam will have. Lirio is very fortunate that he has made it this far. By the way, everyone can take a rest now. It is currently scheduled to arrive at the third exam venue around 8 o'clock tomorrow. At this time, the bean-faced man next to President Netero reminded him. Okay, I can finally rest. Gon was the first to cry out excitedly. Finally I can relax my tense emotions. Lirio stretched his waist and couldn't help but let out a long breath. By the way, next is the third exam. I don't know how many exams have been set up for this year's Hunter exam. Kurapika was very curious. On average it's about 5 or 6 exams. Lan Fei, who knew the inside story, told Kurapika truthfully. 5 or 6 games. Then there are 3 or 4 exams left. Hey, I don't know how long I can last. Lirio shook his head. Lan Fei, how do you know the average is 5 or 6 games? Gon on the side was full of doubts. Since I'm going to take the Hunter exam, I naturally have to do my homework in advance. Lan Fei grinned and made a face at Gon. Lan Fei, Gon, let's go to the other side of the airship. The scenery at night should be very charming. Chia suggested. Okay, I have never experienced such a big airship. Gon instantly turned into a curious baby. Well, let's go. Lan Fei nodded. On the other side, in the restaurant of the airship. The 3 examiners, Sachi, Menchi, and Bajar, are talking about all the strong candidates taking part in this year's Hunter exam. I think candidate number 44 is the most dangerous. His murderous aura is so heavy that even I feel depressed. Menchi spoke while eating his steak. Well, this guy has always maintained such a strong murderous aura. I always feel that he is the same kind of person as us. Satsuki also spoke. Yes, Buhachi didn't care about that much at all, and poured plates of delicacies into his mouth. Compared to no. 44, I care more about candidate number 406, Lan Fei. This guy's cooking skills are no worse than our gourmet hunter. If there is no accident, he should be the most outstanding gourmet hunter in the world. Menchi slowly lowered his fork. I don't think so. His goal is not food hunter. Of course, I am also optimistic about this kid. In the first round of exams, his speed exceeded my imagination. Saucy instantly thought of Lan Fei's terrifying speed of light. Beyond your imagination. Menchi didn't see Lan Fei's speed of light, so naturally he didn't know how abnormal Lan Fei was. Well, his speed, I'm sure, even the president of Netero, I'm afraid he can't match him. Satsuki said with a serious face. What? Hearing this, Menchi couldn't help but exclaimed. Hey, you three little devils, this is the back kitchen, you can't just enter. If you're looking for something to eat, go to the restaurant and order. The back kitchen of the airship, a chef in charge directly drove the three of Lan Fei out of the kitchen. How petty. Gon curled his lips. You glutton. Lan Fei gave Gon an angry look. Wow, the night view here is really beautiful. Xia wiped away the food residue left at the corner of her mouth, and walked towards the window of the airship corridor step by step. Yeah, it's really beautiful. Gon's eyes were also flooded, staring contentedly at the beautiful night below the airship. What's so interesting about this? Lan Fei reluctantly walked to the window. Whoosh. Suddenly, at this moment, an afterimage quickly passed behind the three of them, and the terrifying speed made it difficult for the naked eye to catch. Okay. The three of Lan Fei were startled, and they all turned around quickly. However, no figure was found, and the corridor was still empty except for the three of them. You three, do you want to play a game with me? Just when the three of Lan Fei were shocked, the voice of President Netero came from behind. The speed of this old man is really terrifying, and the naked eye can't catch it. Lan Fei squinted his eyes, and he knew the strength of President Netero to some extent, but now he felt the old man's speed for himself, it was really terrifying. Chapter 31 Lan Fei, Gone, Chi-Yob's President Netero open black lens bracket flower evaluation close black lens bracket. President Netero, did anyone walk in this direction just now? Gon looked at the corridor, and then at President Netero, feeling at that moment that he couldn't go wrong. No. President Netero put his hands behind his back, with an innocent look on his face. Xia, you should have noticed it too. Lan Fei looked at Xia who was on the side. In terms of vigilance, Xia, who came from a family of killers, was more sensitive than Gon, and he also found something wrong. Lan Fei, you also found out, right? Xia nodded, stared at President Netero solemnly, and said, you're so old, but you're quite fast. Can you hurry up? Chairman Netero is recognized as the strongest in this world. Lan Fei blinked. Oh, it seems that it was discovered by you three brats. You three brats are very alert, and you are the best candidates in this year's hunter exam. I just moved a little bit. President Netero yawned with a nonchalant expression. President Netero, you're always at the end of the hunter exam, you should be fine, right? Are you showing off your strength to test our strength? Lan Fei raised his head and met President Netero's eyes. The invisible pressure on President Netero made him feel a little uncomfortable. Don't be so vigilant. You are the best among all the candidates. I am bored and just want to pass the time with you. Don't get me wrong. President Netero stroked his beard and spoke cheerfully. Having said that, how do you three feel? How does it feel to take the hunter exam for the first time? President Netero continued to ask. Feelings. Xia frowned. What kind of medicine was sold in this old man's gourd? It was so much fun and more exciting than I imagined. Gon, who didn't have the slightest city in his heart, said with a smile. It's so disappointing for me, it's not challenging at all. Xia shook his head. Just don't take it too easy. Lan Fei spread his hands. Really, your confidence is quite high. Netero nodded happily, and continued. Anyway, it's time for a break, do you three want to play a game together? Game. Gon was taken aback. Lan Fei, Gon, let's go. With this old man's strength, how could we beat him? Xia put his hands in his pockets, and wanted to turn around and leave. Xia, that one is different. Lan Fei grinned, and the smile on his face deepened. I can give you a privilege. If the three of you can beat me in the game, I will let you be hunters. You don't need to take the next exam. Chairman Netero said meaningfully. Really? Gon's eyes lit up suddenly. This old man. Xia couldn't help being stunned for a moment. After all, the conditions proposed by President Netero were too tempting. Of course, the purpose of Xia to take the hunter exam is not to become a hunter, but to enjoy the excitement and difficulty of the exam. However, the game proposed by Chairman Netero should be very difficult and challenging. This aroused Xia's curiosity. Okay, I accept. Xia nodded. I accept it too. Lan Fei twisted his neck, and let out a sound of muscles and bones. I haven't exercised seriously for a long time. Okay, you guys come with me. President Netero squinted his cloudy old eyes, then turned and walked towards the indoor training ground of the airship. A smug smile appeared on his wrinkled face. Gon, Xia, please work hard later. Don't let the water go, this old man is so strong. Following behind President Netero, Lan Fei reminded in a low voice. I think the chances of winning are slim, but the more challenging it is, the more I like it. Xia said calmly. Just for fun, let's take a look at the gap between us and Hunter. Gon shrugged. 10 minutes later. Indoor training ground. President Netero stepped on the wooden floor with bare feet. He was wearing a loose vest, revealing a not-so-slim figure, with a springy basketball on his index finger. What the hell is this old man going to do? Seeing this, Xia's face was full of doubts. President Netero's game skills are pretty good. Gon quipped. He wants us to grab the basketball in his hands. Lan Fei stared at President Netero with a smile. Bang bang bang. Next, I will announce the rules of the game. Before the airship arrives at the next test venue, as long as you can grab this ball from me, you will win. Now, you still have 9 hours to grab this ball. President Netero slapped the basketball while looking at the three of Lan Fei. Sure enough, the direction of the plot hasn't changed at all. Lan Fei thought to himself, with my speed of light, it should be easy for him to snatch him out of reach. HMPH, when the time comes, let's see if you will be rambunctious. Lan Fei grinned. It's that simple. Gon squatted down and began to warm up, eyes eager to try. Simple. You will know how perverted the old man is later. HxH shook his head and smiled wryly. As the chairman of the review committee, Netero is definitely the strongest in the world. Let alone 3 12 and 13-year-old children, even the mighty hunter might not be able to defeat him. Stronger than this ball. President Netero, don't go back on your word. I'm afraid that if you can't bear it later, you will take the initiative. Lan Fei squeezed and snapped his fingers. Is it all right to grab it? Then I'll go first. HxH took a deep breath. He started to move, taking steps around President Netero step by step in a circular fashion. At this moment, President Netero stood motionless, staring at HxH who was eager to try with a calm face. HxH is going to use his killing skills, Dark Step, and Limb Twist. Lan Fei on the side was not in a hurry to make a move, he wanted to see HxH's strength with his own eyes. Chapter 32 gone. HxH give up, Lan Fei plays. It has to be said that HxH's Dark Step is really weird, worthy of being the top skill of the killer family. His speed doesn't seem fast, but he can see afterimages appearing, which makes people dazzled. That's amazing. HxH seems to have several figures. Gon was shocked. Oh, worthy of being a member of the Zodiac family, this is one of the moves of the assassination technique, limb bending. Use the slowness of footsteps to create countless illusions to confuse the enemy. To be able to do this at such a young age is to be feared by younger generations. Chairman Netero stared at HxH with great interest. Although the speed is not fast, it can confuse people. Dark steps and limb bends are worthy of the Zodiac family's killing skills. Lan Fei put his arms around his chest and watched carefully. Boom. Suddenly, when countless phantoms surrounded Chairman Netero in a circle, HxH stepped on his feet and rushed towards Chairman Netero. It's too simple to think. President Netero's figure flickered, sideways avoiding HxH's surprise attack. However, HxH did not give up. He remained silent, calm, and continued to launch a powerful offensive. His nimble body and strange assassination skills were his advantages. But who will Netero be? That was a ceiling-level hunter. Even if HxH's offensive was strong, he still couldn't touch President Netero, let alone snatch the basketball from President Netero. After dozens of rounds, HxH still couldn't get within 3 feet of Chairman Netero. The movements are so flexible, is he really an old man? HxH paused, staring at President Netero. HxH, come on. Gon on the side was very excited, his eyes were eager to try. Gon, how about the two of you? Lan Fei asked. How about you? Gon tilted his head. I'm going one-on-one with President Netero. Lan Fei grinned. One-on-one. Lan Fei, are you kidding me? This old man is a monster, you have no chance at all by yourself. Gon's eyes widened. How do you know if you don't try? Lan Fei shrugged his shoulders. Once he opened the 8-gate Dunjia and had the speed of light of the shining fruit, he could snatch the basketball from President Netero. After all, this is just a game, and Chairman Netero will not show much strength. Why, isn't it too late? At this time, President Netero showed an amiable smile. He was playing basketball while staring at HxH. Damn it, you actually underestimated me. In this case, I will make you unable to move first. HxH gritted her teeth, her eyes revealed the murderous intent that only a killer could have. He stepped on his foot, and his figure flew out at a high speed, sticking to the wooden floor and directly grabbing President Netero's lower body. Boom. In an instant, the sound of collision spread, and HxH directly kicked President Netero. It is good. Seeing this, Gon couldn't help applauding. This old man is obviously releasing water. Lan Fei watched with great interest. Okay. Pain. Just when HxH thought he had succeeded, he was extremely happy, his expression changed drastically, a heart-piercing pain came from his feet, he felt like he had kicked on a hard iron plate, and he could not help but fly back, holding his left foot and screaming in pain. Funny little guy. The offensive is not sloppy, it is not simple. If it were someone else, I'm afraid the bones of the feet would be broken. President Netero thought to himself. Hateful. Isn't this old man too perverted? His feet are as hard as iron. HxH stared at Chairman Netero with gritted teeth. HxH, it's me, you take a rest first. At this time, Gon outside the court waved to HxH. HxH has no choice but to snatch the basketball from President Netero for the time being, so he can only try it with Gon. This kid, it shouldn't be easy. Seeing Gon walking forward, eager to try, Chairman Netero's face is still as calm as water. Gon's reaction is not bad. It's about the same level as HxH. It's okay to practice. Lan Fei thought to himself. Whoosh. Gon briefly warmed up, his figure flickered, and at an extremely fast speed, he rushed towards President Netero head-on. A frontal attack. Even the kid from before knew how to confuse you with your figure, you are too naive. President Netero shook his head. Wow. Suddenly, at this moment, Gon's figure disappeared out of thin air, and appeared on top of President Netero in the next second. Oh, President Netero became interested instantly. Boom. It's a pity that Gon jumped too high, He completely forgot that he was in the airship now. He directly hit the ceiling of the training ground, and cried out in pain. This idiot. Lan Fei patted his forehead. Gone, what are you doing? Chiya's face was also full of disappointment, with a feeling of hating iron but not steel. Okay, let's do it again. After the pain passed, Gon concentrated again, and began to move around President Netero step by step, and his mind began to think very fast. Any kind of offensive can't break through the defense of Chairman Netero, so there is only a tricky way. Boom. Soon, Gon charged at Chairman Netero again. Unfortunately, after dozens of rounds, Gon, like Chiya, still couldn't touch Chairman Netero, let alone the basketball in his hand. Chiya, you two together. At this time, Lan Fei glanced at Chiya who had rested. Two together. Lan Fei, what about you? Chiya frowned. I'm fine by myself. I'll go after you two give up. Lan Fei grinned. One person. Chiya's frown deepened. Lan Fei seems to be very confident in his own strength. Gon, I'm coming too. In an instant, Chiya rushed towards Chairman Netero again. One old and two young, staged a chase battle again. Time passed by every minute and every second. 3 hours later, after hundreds of rounds of snatching, no matter whether it was a sneak attack or a frontal surprise attack, neither Gon nor Chiya could snatch the basketball from President Netero's hands. Both of them were exhausted, sweating profusely, breathing heavily. On the other hand, Chairman Netero, his face is radiant, his breathing is still well proportioned, he doesn't struggle at all, and he doesn't look old at all. Forget it, I give up. Chiya took a deep breath and shook her head helplessly. I gave up too, the old man's strength is too perverted. Gon nodded and turned to look at Lan Fei. Lan Fei, it's your turn. Oh, I almost forgot, there's another kid. President Netero stared at Lan Fei with a smile. Chapter 32. 8 Doors Dunjia, Jingmun opens. Open black lens bracket seek evaluation of flowers close black lens bracket. Finally it's my turn. Seeing President Netero looking over, Lan Fei smiled, then put down his hands and walked towards President Netero step by step. Gon, you and Lan Fei grew up together, you should understand this guy's strength, right? Seeing Lan Fei coming on stage, Chiya glanced at Gon beside him. Although Lan Fei is only 1 year older than me, his strength is much stronger than mine. Thinking of Lan Fei's devilish training on Whale Island, Gon never questioned Lan Fei's strength. I just don't know if it will succeed. If this guy can really snatch the basketball from the old man, it will definitely be Hunter's strength. After fighting President Netero, Chiya also knows how scary and perverted this old man is. We'll see. I believe Lan Fei can do it. Gon nodded. President Netero, do you want to change the rules of the game? Lan Fei frowned in front of President Netero, with a calm expression, not being oppressed by the powerful aura of President Netero. Oh, how are you going to change? President Netero was startled, and thought, where does this brat have the confidence? I also allow you to make a move. Lan Fei grinned. Little ghost, you have to know that if I make a move, the airship will probably suffer. By then, it will be very difficult for all of you candidates to arrive at the next test site on time. President Netero said lightly. Whoosh. As soon as Chairman Netero finished speaking, Lan Fei rushed over at an extremely fast speed, even more terrifying than the speed of Gon and Chiya. So fast. President Netero narrowed his eyes slightly, this brat is much stronger than the other two. Immediately afterwards, President Netero moved, he swung his body sideways, and easily dodged Lan Fei's attack. Whoosh whoosh. Lan Fei was just Xiaolu's hand, trying to test President Netero. His speed increased again, forcing President Netero to retreat again and again. However, he still couldn't touch President Netero, nor could he touch the basketball in his hand. The speed is good. If you want to grab the basketball in my hand, your strength is not enough. President Netero sighed. In his opinion, he thinks highly of Lan Fei. Based on speed alone, it is very difficult to snatch the basketball from the old man's hands. Chiya shook his head. It is true that Lan Fei's speed is really fast, much faster than himself and Gon, but if he wants to grab the ball, he must attack from the front, making President Netero mess up. However, facing the ceiling of the Hunter world, who can do this? President Netero, don't worry, it was just a warm-up. Disappointed to see President Netero, Lan Fei narrowed his eyes, and an unprecedented aura erupted from his body. 8 Door Dunjia, open the door. Lan Fei shouted angrily. It's such a strong momentum, could it be? Impossible. Practice. Have you come this far at such a young age? President Netero's face instantly became serious. However, he didn't know that Lan Fei had only opened the 8 doors of Dunjia, and he didn't know the basic practice of reading. What kind of move is this? Feeling that Lan Fei's momentum was getting stronger and stronger, Chiya couldn't help frowning. Lan Fei, this guy, how did you do it? Gon gritted his teeth, he found that the gap between himself and Lan Fei was getting bigger and bigger. 8 Door Dunjia, Hue door open. At this moment, Lan Fei's aura became stronger again. What? Still getting stronger. This time, President Netero was really shocked. 8 Door Dunjia, life door open. 8 Doors Dunjia, open the door of injury. 8 Door Dunjia, do door open. 8 Gate Dunjia, Jingmun open. Boom. When Lan Fei opened the 8 Door Dunjia to the door of death, the chi on his body seemed to be on fire, with a faint green light, and the wooden floor under his feet cracked faintly. Green air. This brat, what kind of method did he use? Even if it is the basic practice of reading, you can't burn the chi. President Netero stared at Lan Fei, he couldn't understand, how did Lan Fei, a 13-year-old brat, manage to do this? This is too perverted. The chi on this guy is even more terrifying than the chi on the number 44 candidate Hisoka I met before. Chi Ya's eyes widened, and the shock in his heart couldn't be added. Lan Fei, what the hell have you been through? Even if you run with a sandbag weighing more than 100 catties every day, you can't do this step. Gon realizes that he doesn't really understand Lan Fei at all. How many secrets are hidden in this guy? President Netero, I'm going to do it. Lan Fei grinned, stepped on the floor, the wooden floor shattered, and the figure disappeared out of thin air. So fast. President Netero's pupils constricted suddenly, and his figure retreated rapidly. Wow. In the blink of an eye, Lan Fei's figure has appeared behind President Netero. Not good. President Netero glanced behind him, and quickly raised his left hand to block it. Boom. In an instant, Lan Fei punched him heavily. President Netero only felt a strong force spread through his whole body through his left hand. He couldn't help but flew upside down, and the basketball in his right hand also fell off. It's here. Lan Fei grinned and charged towards the basketball. The strength of this kid is beyond imagination. It seems that we must show some strength. President Netero's face sank as the figure flew upside down, and an equally powerful momentum erupted from his body. When he stepped on the floor, the wooden floor was also shattered, and the figure suddenly disappeared in place. In the next second, President Netero grabbed the falling basketball. Okay, it seems that this old man is going to be serious. Lan Fei grinned. The speed of both of them is not slow, and they grabbed the basketball almost at the same time. Towards the peacock. Immediately, Lan Fei shouted loudly. In an instant, Lan Fei hit a high-speed positive fist, which rubbed against the air and created flames, just like the scene of a peacock spreading its tail, and drowned towards President Netero. Chapter 34 The abnormal ability of the sparkling fruit, Lan Fei 1 Seeking Flower Evaluation. What kind of move is this? The blowing wind of a fist can ignite a flame. Chi Ya's eyes widened. To the peacock. A flame like a peacock's tail. Lan Fei, how much strength do you hide that even Mito Aunt and I don't know? Gon stared at Lan Fei who was exuding green steam all over his body, and his heart was extremely shocked. He and Lan Fei are like brothers, they have played since childhood, but they don't know that Lan Fei has hidden such unfathomable strength. With such strength, he is fully qualified to be a hunter. Boom. Not long after the flames dissipated, an old man whose whole body was wrapped in fiery golden light came into view. His eyes were deep and shining, and there was no burn mark on his body. The flaming fist wind did not cause any harm to him. Damage. In his right hand, he still holds a basketball tightly. Okay. After opening the Jingmun, there is no harm at all. This layer of golden light, could it be the Netero president's Nen? Lan Fei frowned. Opening the Jingmun in the 8 Door Dunjia caused a lot of damage. My whole body was now burning with green steam. I didn't expect that the strength of President Netero would be so abnormal. That's right. After all, this old man is known as the ceiling of the hunter world. If you want to hurt him, you have to open all the 8 doors to have hope. Lan Fei thought to himself. Little devil, are you really only 13 years old? President Netero squinted his eyes, staring solemnly at Lan Fei who was burning with green steam all over his body. It has to be said that Lan Fei's strength really frightened President Netero. The attack just now was aimed at Peacock, and the general bounty hunter would not dare to take it hard. A surefire 13-year-old virgin. Lan Fei nodded and continued. President Netero is indeed the strongest 3-star hunter. Even if I open the Jingmun among the 8 Dunjia, I still can't hurt you, and I can't snatch the basketball from you. 8 Gate Dunjia. President Netero frowned. Could it be that this is the idea you cultivated? No, it's just my gymnastics. Lan Fei smiled. Gymnastics. President Netero's frown deepened. Of course, this is not my strongest physical skill. I just want to test the strength of Chairman Netero. Otherwise, once the 8 doors are fully opened, I'm afraid the airship will be destroyed. Without thinking, Lan Fei left President Netero with a trace of suspense. Isn't this your strongest physical skill? President Netero doesn't know what to say. Isn't this 13-year-old kid in front of him too perverted? Definitely one of the most perverted candidates ever to take the hunter exam. Of course, this metamorphosis is a combination of strength and age. Like Hisoka, like Chi Ya's Big Brother Year fans, are also very powerful existences. Call. Soon, the green steam on Lan Fei's body slowly disappeared, and the whole person returned to normal. What? Are you giving up? Chairman Netero was surprised to see Lan Fei's powerful aura suddenly disappear. Give up. Lan Fei shook his head. I want to use another way to grab the basketball in your hand. Another way. Chairman Netero was even more puzzled. Well, I want to win with speed. Speed is what I am most proud of relying on. Lan Fei nodded. Gone. I thought I was the only one who came to take the hunter exam looking for excitement, but I didn't expect Lan Fei to be too. With this guy's strength, there is no need to take the hunter exam. He is more perverted than many bounty hunters. Hearing Lan Fei's words, Chi Ya instantly thought of Lan Fei's terrifying speed. Chi Ya, I can't see Lan Fei clearly anymore. Even though we've been playing since we were young, he feels more and more unfathomable to me. Gon shook his head and smiled wryly. Speed wins. Hearing Lan Fei's words, President Netero shook his head and sighed. You little brat, you are really unpredictable. Just now your attack is not only powerful, but also extremely fast. I didn't expect it to be your strongest move. Come on, let me experience the speed you are most proud of. Netero will stare at Lan Fei with a serious face. I'm going to get started. Lan Fei took a deep breath. Using his shining fruit ability, it should be easier to grab the basketball in the hands of President Netero. After all, the speed of light is much, much faster than the speed of Bamen Dunjia. Of course, Lan Fei has always had doubts in his heart. The speed of his shining fruit is indeed unmatched, but a powerful Samsung hunter like President Netero can release the circle. Once he enters the realm of the circle, can also be perceived. Therefore, in this case, Lan Fei doesn't know whether his ability of shining fruit can remain invincible even when others perceive it. 8-foot mirror. In an instant, Lan Fei's whole body was filled with golden light, instantly elementalized, and a golden light refracted towards President Netero. The whole body turned into golden light. Chairman Netero stared at his cloudy old eyes. As the world ceiling level 3-star hunter, he has seen too many perverted monsters, so his mentality is as calm as ever. No one has ever let his star there was a ripple in the calm heart. But now, Lan Fei has done it. Whoosh. Seeing the golden light coming, President Netero kept flying back, but the speed was still a beat slower than Lan Fei's. Boom. In an instant, the golden light condensed Lan Fei's figure, and he lifted his foot and put it on the arm of President Netero, and the basketball was also blown away, fell off President Netero's hand, and fell into Lan Fei's hands. I won. Lan Fei grinned and stared at President Netero with a grin. Lan Fei has no doubt about the ability of his shining fruit, who is the opponent at the speed of light. You know, in my impression of the Ant King chapter, President Netero even performed the 100 Xingguanyan, but at the terrifying speed of the Ant King, he couldn't stop it in the end, and his limbs were cut off, and he died in a miserable state. And Lan Fei is confident that his own speed of light is even more terrifying than that of the Ant King, so it's not a big problem to grab a basketball. Chapter 35 Nen. Curse. This. Seeing that the basketball fell into Lan Fei's hands, President Netero couldn't help but smiled wryly. You little brat, you're too perverted, even I can't do anything against the speed of light. Lan Fei, this guy actually grabbed the basketball. Xia clenched her fists. Xia, who was born in a family of killers, shows his strength. Because of his confidence in his own strength, Xia came to take the hunter exam to experience the excitement brought by the process. Originally, Xia thought that he was already considered a leader among the younger generation, and he had almost no rivals among his peers, but he didn't expect that the strength exposed by Lan Fei in front of him became more and more obscure, mysterious and unfathomable measurement. Therefore, Xia had to admit that he was really not as good as Lan Fei. Lan Fei, good job. At this moment, Gon ran forward with a full face of excitement, and hugged Lan Fei excitedly. Gon, you're hugging too tightly. I'm not your girlfriend. Seeing this, Lan Fei shook his head helplessly. Hee, who told you that you are my big brother? Gon grinned. President Netero, what do you say? Don't count on what you say. Lan Fei played with the basketball in his hand, and stared at President Netero with a smile. Okay, I'm willing to bet and admit defeat. Chairman Netero spread his hands. Originally, he was just playing a small game to warm up with Lan Fei, Xia, and Gon, and with his strength, he didn't have to worry about losing at all. Who knew that Lan Fei would be so perverted? With the speed of light, unless he uses all his strength, it will be difficult to stop Lan Fei. Of course, the most important thing is that Lan Fei not only possesses abnormal speed, but also possesses abnormal physical skills. Ordinary positive punches can ignite flames when hitting the air, can he not be abnormal? Lan Fei, I declare that you are qualified to become a hunter. You don't need to take the next exam. After this year's hunter exam is over, you go to the final venue to receive the hunter qualification certificate. President Netero said indifferently, looking at Lan Fei with a little more appreciation. At the age of 13, he possessed such perverted strength, especially in terms of speed and physical skills. Wouldn't it be even more perverted if he practiced Nen in the future? As expected of the chairman of the review committee, the privilege is not simple. In one sentence, Lan Fei can be transformed into a hunter. Xia secretly said, Lan Fei, congratulations. Before the exam is over, you will become a hunter first. If Mito Aunt knows, he will be very happy. Gon stared at Lan Fei with a beaming face, his eyes were full of admiration. Gon, you have to work hard for the next few exams. You must be hunters too. Lan Fei patted Gon's head and encouraged. Brat. At this time, President Netero walked towards Lan Fei step by step. President Netero. Lan Fei nodded, raised his eyes slightly, and met President Netero's gaze. Before, you said that the physical skill you practice is called Bamen Dunjia, so what about your speed? So far, I really haven't seen anyone whose speed can reach the speed of light. President Netero squinted his eyes, he really wanted to know how Lan Fei cultivated such a perverted speed. Because I ate a devil fruit. Lan Fei grinned, but didn't hide it. After all, he has already shown his strength, and it is no problem to protect himself with the ability of shining fruit. No one in this world should be able to kill him. Unless, you meet a perverted Nen master who has time stasis and frozen space. Of course, those monsters in the Dark Continent are another matter. Lan Fei also has a headache for Chiya's younger brother Aluka. Devil fruit. President Netero was startled, what the hell is this? I haven't heard of it at all. Lan Fei, what is a devil fruit? Gon also looked confused. Demon. Could it be? Chiya's pupils shrank, and he immediately thought of a possibility, that is his younger brother Aluka. Demon. Could it be the fruit of the Dark Continent? President Netero frowned, secretly speculating in his heart. Okay, since the game is over, you three should rest first. At this moment, President Netero waved his hand. President Netero, since I don't have to take the next exam, can you send me to the Sky Arena after Gon and the others arrive at the third exam tomorrow? Lan Fei asked. Are you going to the Sky Arena? Chairman Netero was a little surprised. Well, Gon and I have been short on money since we left Whale Island. Of course, by the way, I will also go to experience it. Lan Fei nodded. Can. President Netero nodded. Sky Coliseum, what is that place? Seeing President Netero turn and leave, Gon looked at Lan Fei curiously. You can ask Chi-Ya. I'm going back to rest first. Lan Fei patted Gon on the shoulder, then grinned at Chi-Ya to calm down. UB********************** D. Chi-Ya gave Lan Fei a helpless look. Ding. Just when Lan Fei was about to turn around to rest, the intelligent voice of the system came from his mind. Congratulations to the host for passing the assessment and becoming a hunter. Given that the host only passed the second exam, and was used by President Netero's privileges, he was successfully promoted and obtained the hunter qualification certificate. The system will give you the last chance to reward. In Lan Fei's mind, the voice of intelligence came again. The last chance for a reward. Lan Fei took a deep breath, he must grasp the last opportunity for reward. Host, for the last reward chance, you can choose random or specially made. The system reminded. I choose special, just Nen. Lan Fei nodded. May I ask the host, which kind of Nen do you want to make? Asked the system. Which one is better? Contract. This is Kurapika's future trait Nen. Time. Space. Lan Fei shook his head. Nen of time and space. Before time travel, he had already read many novels of time traveler. Many people are already tired of reading this kind of Nen. By the way, I want to curse. Suddenly, Lan Fei thought of Naruto's ability in Hidan. Chapter 36 Parting. Go to the Sky Arena, seeking flower evaluation. Curse. Host, you can have this. The voice of the system did not fluctuate much, and continued to respond. Since the host has swallowed the shining fruit can condense the Amakongan sword, which is equivalent to the Nen of the manipulator, and the host has now formulated its own special system Nen curse. As long as Tiankongan sword can hurt people, it can inject curse power into the enemy. But what about after the curse? Asked the system. After the curse, I can play and kill the enemy well. Just like Fei Duan. Anyway, I have the ability of shining fruit, and my whole body can be turned into elements. Even if my arms and legs are broken, nothing will happen. Lan Fei grinned. The trait of this curse is Nen, which is also perverted. Once the Tiankongan sword hurts someone and gets their blood, it can curse the enemy. You can curse the way you want, so you can remove your legs, arms, head, or even pierce your heart like Hijuan. Ding. According to the formulation of the host, the curse Nen has awakened. The cultivation accelerator has been activated. Just as Lan Fei was walking back to his resting place, the voice of the system came again. Host, do you want to start practicing? The system reminded. How to practice? Lan Fei asked. As long as the host enters the meditation training space and cooperates with the training accelerator, he should be able to master it in 2 hours. The system reminded. Meditation practice space. Lan Fei nodded. My own full-level Bamen Dunjia is a physical skill, and it should be easy to practice and master the 4 major skills of entanglement, absolute, refining, and hair. To master the 4 elements is to master mindfulness. Host, are you practicing now? The system reminded again. Practice. Lan Fei nodded, closed his eyes instantly, and entered a state of meditation. At this time, in the meditation practice space, the time flow is very fast, and with the practice accelerator, Lan Fei started the practice of mindfulness. Ding dong. Sorry for keeping you guys waiting for so long. This airship will arrive at our destination soon. On the second day, the sky was slightly bright, and a ray of sunlight slowly shone into the airship through the viewing window. Then, a broadcast sound woke up all the sleeping candidates. Okay. Gon, who was lying on the wooden floor, slowly opened his sleepy eyes, stretched his waist, then got dressed, climbed to the viewing window, and looked through the morning sun at a giant tower soaring into the clouds not far away. Is that the venue for the next exam? Chi-Ya, Lan Fei, you two wake up quickly. Gon shouted excitedly. What's all the fuss about? Chi-Ya also stretched, and gave Gon a hard look. In Chi-Ya's opinion, he values the exciting process of the exam more than the exam venue. Where's Lan Fei? Chi-Ya looked around, but didn't find Lan Fei's figure. Gon, Chi-Ya. At this time, the voices of Kurapika and Lirio came. Hi Kurapika, did you sleep well last night? Gon turned and greeted Kurapika. I slept well, I was exhausted from the previous 2 exams. Before Kurapika could speak, Lirio spoke first. Where's Lan Fei? Asked Kurapika. This guy doesn't need to take the exam with us anymore, he has already obtained the charter of President Netero, and has become a hunter in an extraordinary way. Chi-Ya tidied up the shoelaces, and opened her mouth unhurriedly. What? Break the rules and become a hunter? Kurapika was taken aback. Hey, what do you mean? Lirio also looked puzzled. It means that I don't have to take the next exam. At this time, Lan Fei came over and looked at Lirio with a smile on his face. In fact, Lan Fei woke up from meditation long before the broadcast sounded, and he also successfully cultivated his own Nen. The reason why he is not here is that he went to the bathroom after waking up. You don't need to take the test. Kurapika looked at Lan Fei and asked, what's going on? The three of us played a game with President Netero last night, and I won in the end. According to the agreement between President Netero and us, I don't need to take the next exam, and I will directly get the hunter qualification certificate. Lan Fei winked at Kurapika. UB asterisk 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 D. Kurapika didn't know what to say. Even this kind of privilege can be obtained. You can become a hunter without taking a test, isn't that too perverted? Moreover, even if it is a game, with the strength of President Netero, who can beat him? For the next exam, the four of you have to work hard. When you arrive at the venue for the third test, I'll go to the Sky Arena to practice and earn some money to spend. Gone, after the hunter exam, take my hunter qualification certificate together, and I will wait for you in HxH City. Lan Fei looked at Gon. HxH City, understood. Lan Fei, I will work hard, I will definitely catch up with you, and I will definitely become hunter. Gon raised his fist, encouraging himself. HxH City. Kurapika frowned. Sky Arena, I heard that there is a paradise for money. Lan Fei, you are so lucky, you even became a hunter without taking the exam, even I am very envious. Liario sighed. Candidates, please get ready, the venue for the third exam is ready. Just then, the broadcast sound came again. Let's go, before we leave, I'll see you off. Lan Fei patted Gon on the shoulder, turned and walked towards the hatch of the airship. 10 minutes later, the airship slowly landed on the top of the cheap trap tower, and all the candidates got off the airship one after another. The cheap trap tower is the venue for the third exam. Candidates, the venue for the third hunter exam is here. The pinnacle of what the world calls the Tower of the Pitfall. Just as all the candidates got off the airship, the Domian man also got off and explained to everyone with a smile on his face. The cheap trap tower. Everyone looked around one after another. The spire of this tower stood high above the clouds, and it was extremely high. A gust of morning wind blew in, making the already depressed students feel bitingly cold. If there are no accidents, if you survive from the top of the tower to the bottom of the tower, you will be considered qualified. The bean noodle man explained. Gon, Chiya, Kurapika, Liario, you four should work hard. Waved to the four of Gon, Lan Fei turned around, and walked back to the airship with the bean-faced man. Lan Fei, I will work hard. Remember to wait for me in HxH City. Gon also waved goodbye to Lan Fei. Boom. Soon, the airship lifted off again and slowly flew away from the trap tower. Chapter 37 President Netero's 3 cups of tea. Okay. This brat isn't taking the hunter exam. Seeing Lan Fei leaving in an airship with the Domian man, Hisoka, with his hands on his hips, stared in astonishment, not knowing what happened. Did you give up the exam? The Year fan, who was pretending to be Jidoliku, was also surprised. He looked at the departing airship, then at Hisoka, and said to himself, this little guy finally fell in love with Hisoka, so he just gave up. I knew I would have killed this little devil in the Shimile wetland. It's a pity that such a good prey was let go like this. Hisoka licked the corner of his mouth, and walked towards Gon step by step. Fortunately, there is still a prey here, but it will be fun until he becomes really strong. Gon. Hisoka walked to Gon's side. Gia laughed. Hisoka. Seeing the evil smile on Hisoka's face, Chiya and others became vigilant. Is there something wrong? Gon was also vigilant, staring at Hisoka with a serious face. Back then in the Milo wetlands, if he and Lan Fei hadn't made a move, Liario would have been killed by him. Where's Lan Fei, the brat? Hisoka squinted. He has the privilege of being the president of Netero, and he no longer needs to take future exams. He's a hunter now, Gon said lightly. Oh, Hisoka's eyes could not help flashing an imperceptible edge. I'm afraid this kid still hides a lot of strength. However, this is very good, at least it makes my blood boil all over my body. My prey can only grow to the strongest, only then can I be satisfied. Little ghost, are you going to the Sky Arena just to make money? Or do you have other purposes? At this moment, in the airship, President Netero is sitting cross-legged in front of a tea table, while Lan Fei is sitting opposite him. Well, I'm poor now. Lan Fei nodded. Do you know anything about Sky Arena? President Netero continued to ask. Let's get to know it. It's a good place where you can make money and experience yourself. Lan Fei smiled. The Sky Coliseum is a paradise for fighting fans. The Coliseum has a total of 251 floors and a height of 991 meters, making it the 4th tallest building in the world. The building is full of fighting arenas. The entire Sky Arena up to the 200th floor is based on 10 floors. Only those who win can advance to the next floor. The Sky Arena has more than 1 billion spectators from all over the world every year, and more than 4,000 challengers line up at the registration office every day to register. Its difficulty level is second only to the hunter exam. Chairman Netero slowly poured a cup of tea for Lan Fei. As the most powerful person in the world, the 3-star hunter, the president of Netero also likes fighting, and also likes to drink tea, and has a super high attainment in tea art. President Netero, so far, how many people have been able to advance from the 1st floor to the 251st floor? Lan Fei slowly took the teacup that President Netero had fallen down, and drank it down in one gulp. Those who can achieve this step are all the top fighters in the world. So far, there are no more than 5 people who have been able to go from the 1st floor to the 251st floor without a break. President Netero slowly stretched his fingers. Moreover, these people are all powerful fighters who are famous all over the world. President Netero, what if I do the same? Lan Fei said with a grin. If you really do it, you will get fame and money, and you are only a 13-year-old boy, and those super families and super organizations will try their best to win you over. Even the Hunter Review Committee will win you over. President Netero smiled and poured a second cup of tea for Lan Fei. With the strength and speed shown by Lan Fei before, President Netero feels that there is at least 80% hope that he can continuously advance from the first floor to the highest floor of 251. I only want money now, and reputation is not very important. Of course, if both money and reputation can be collected, I can work harder. Lan Fei chuckled. If it's for money, there will be a bonus of about 1 million when you reach the 100th floor. If you reach the 150th floor and above, you will get more than 10 million bonuses. If you win consecutively to the 190th floor, the total bonus will be as high as 200 million yuan. However, the 200th floor, the future competitions are just for honor, and there is no prize money, so if it's just for prize money, you can stop and go home after winning 190 floors. President Netero nodded, and he looked at Lan Fei calmly, showing an amiable smile. The current Lan Fei is just a piece of rough jade in the eyes of President Netero. As long as he is honed, he will become a super strong man comparable to himself when he grows up. Of course, all of this must be properly guided, at least to take detours and not to walk on the path of evil. It's just that President Netero underestimated Lan Fei. After all, Lan Fei is a time traveler. There is no right or wrong in everything. And President Netero is now in this position, what he wants to see is right or wrong, not like or dislike. As long as it is wrong, he will kill it with his own hands. President Netero, thank you. Lan Fei slowly raised the third cup of tea that President Netero had poured down, and drank it down in one gulp. Little ghost, you have to know that there are not many people in this world who can drink the tea I make myself. Okay, the Sky Arena is coming soon, this place is already in the territory of the Republic of Badokia. You and I, let's leave now. I hope that when we meet next time, I can see your full strength. President Netero took a deep look at Lan Fei. Perhaps at that time, I may force you to use your strongest moves. Lan Fei blinked and said meaningfully. The strongest move. President Netero frowned. Well, the strongest move. For example, 100 Styles of Avalokitesvara. Lan Fei got up slowly, pretending to be mysterious and said, then turned around, put his hands in his pockets, and walked towards the hatch of the airship step by step. Avalokitesvara in 100 styles. The teapot in President Netero's hand shook involuntarily, his pupils constricted suddenly, and his face changed drastically. Chapter 38 earned several hundred million for Mito Aunt Wawa open black lens bracket seeking flower evaluation close black lens bracket. President Netero, thank you for sending me here. After getting off the airship, Lan Fei waved to President Netero, who was standing in the cabin door with his hands behind his back. Little ghost, I wish you good luck. President Netero nodded. Bang. Soon, the hatch was closed, and the airship lifted off slowly, disappearing from Lan Fei's sight. Is this the building of the Sky Arena? Tisk tisk, that's really high. Lan Fei thought to himself, and then stepped into the Sky Arena building. It's really lively, this is a paradise for fighters. After entering the building, Lan Fei walked directly towards the registration area. Isn't the queue too long? The excitement is no less than the hunter exam. Lan Fei followed behind a burly man, and also consciously joined the volleyball team. Although Lan Fei is capable, he is indeed a person of quality, and he would not do such a disgraceful thing as jumping in the queue. Hunter exam. Little ghost, this is different from the hunter exam. There are no particularly difficult conditions. As long as you have the strength to knock down your opponent. By the way, kid, how old are you this year? You know the hunter exam. At this time, behind Lan Fei, a bald man in martial arts uniform bent down and stared at Lan Fei with a smile. I am 13 years old. I heard that Sky Coliseum is a place where you can make money, so I want to earn some money back to Mito Aunt. Lan Fei said with a grin. Little ghost, I advise you not to be brave, be careful that you will be beaten to death. The bald man was full of disdain. Make money. Although the more you climb up here, the more bonuses you can earn, but it also depends on your strength. At Lan Fei's young age, he is not favored at all, because he is afraid that he will lose his life if he has money. That's not necessarily the case. It's not certain who kills who. Uncle Bald, don't meet me later, be careful, you will lose badly. Lan Fei shrugged. Just relying on you to follow the brat. The bald man didn't care. You know, I am a martial Taoist, I have already mastered the 4 major elements of Nian, and I am fully capable of advancing to the 200th floor and occupying the seat of the landlord. Welcome to the Sky Arena. Half an hour later, it was finally Lan Fei's turn. At the window of the registration desk is a beautiful receptionist in purple. She has a good figure, but her appearance is not up to Lan Fei's aesthetic standards. Please fill in your personal details on this form. The beautiful receptionist said with a polite smile. Lan Fei nodded, and carefully filled out his information. After the beautiful receptionist entered Lan Fei's information into the computer, he handed Lan Fei a number plate. Lan Fei, your number plate is 2008, please keep it. All the arenas on the first floor use this number plate, please pay more attention to those who call your number. Okay, please come inside. The beautiful receptionist raised her hand, indicating that Lan Fei could enter the arena on the first floor. Thank you, beautiful sister. Lan Fei took the number plate with a smile, turned around and stepped into the arena on the first floor. Beautiful sister. Hearing Lan Fei's words, the beautiful receptionist was taken aback, and then couldn't help showing a simple smile. After working for so long, this is the first time someone calls me beautiful sister. This little brother, it's interesting. Come on. Get rid of him. Good job. Fight back. Walking to the entrance of the passage, Lan Fei heard the lively cheers from the arena, spreading to every corner like an overwhelming momentum. There are 16 arenas on the first floor, and it should be here soon. Lan Fei thought to himself, the excitement here is even more exciting than Hunter's exam. Because there are not too many restrictions on the people who enter the Sky Arena, so that there are countless spectators and participants every day. Glancing at the auditorium, Lan Fei found a seat relatively far back and sat down, with his arms crossed, watching other players' games with great interest. Contestants 2000 and 2008, please go to the E-ring. After sitting quietly for half an hour, the sound of the broadcast slowly spread throughout the arena. Number 2008. It's finally me. It's hard to come here. This time I want to climb to the top in one day, advance to the highest 251st floor, and earn a few $100 million to go back to Mito Aunt Wawa. Lan Fei stood up, showing a confident smile, and then walked towards the E-ring. Hey, are you right? Look quickly, number 2008 is actually a brat. Little brother, if you want to escape, you should take advantage of it now, otherwise you will have no chance. Ha ha ha, that's right, I'm afraid he won't have a chance to speak later. Isn't it because you were scared to go back to find your mother? Seeing Lan Fei on stage, many viewers laughed. There were more and more jokes, and soon attracted the attention of tens of thousands of viewers. My opponent turned out to be a big guy. Stepping onto the ring, Lan Fei didn't pay attention to the audience's comments, but stared at his opponent calmly. The opponent in front of him was a strong man, more than 2 meters tall, with a burly figure and a belly bigger than a pregnant woman. It looks very unfriendly. In the competition on the first floor, the score level of the contestants will be judged according to the competition process. Please use your strength within the 3-minute time limit. The game starts. On the E stage, the referee who seemed to be quite capable slowly raised his hand. I'm sorry, I'll just use one blow. As soon as the referee's voice fell, contestant No 2000 on the ring wanted to chatter at Lan Fei before making a move, but Lan Fei didn't give him a chance to speak at all. I really don't want to hear your nonsense. Lan Fei curled his lips, his figure disappeared suddenly, and in the next second he appeared in front of contestant No 2000, and directly punched him in the stomach. Boom. In an instant, before everyone had time to react, the figure of contestant No 2000 was thrown into the air like a cannonball, hitting the wall of the auditorium, collapsing the wall, and falling headfirst to the ground. Lan Fei clapped his hands, turned around and walked off the ring without even looking at contestant number 2000. No way. Just one punch. Isn't this kid too powerful? Immediately, overwhelming cheers came from the auditorium. Contestant 2008, you can go directly to the 50th floor to compete. Seeing Lan Fei walking off the ring, the referee was stunned. Then he took out the pager, entered Lan Fei's information, and then printed out a ticket and handed it to Lan Fei. Chapter 39 Genius and Genius. Lan Fei's Zushi open black lens bracket seeking flower evaluation close black lens bracket. Oh my god, another super strong kid has appeared. Are all the kids nowadays so tough? Just after Lan Fei left the arena on the first floor, cheers came from the auditorium again. In the D ring, a brown-haired boy in a white Taoist uniform also won the competition. Based on your performance just now, you can go directly to the 50th floor. On the stage D, the referee also announced the child's final victory. Thanks. The child clasped his hands together, bowed slightly, took the printed ticket from the referee, turned around and followed behind Lan Fei. On the other side, Lan Fei walked out of the arena on the first floor and directly entered the elevator leading to the 50th floor. Ding. Just as the elevator door was about to close, a child blocked the elevator door with his hand, and then looked at Lan Fei politely. This person was the contestant who won after Lan Fei just now. Okay, isn't this guy a Zushi? Lan Fei was taken aback, and carefully looked at the child in white Taoist uniform who had just walked into the elevator. In Lan Fei's impression, although this little guy is young, he has practiced Nian one step ahead of Gon and Chi-Ya, and his strongest is the practice of the 4 elements of Nian. Hello, 2 little brothers. In this Sky Arena, the levels are divided in units of 10 floors. At this moment, in the elevator, the receptionist glanced at Lan Fei and Zushi before speaking slowly. Although she was surprised by the age of Lan Fei and Zushi, as the reception lady, she still kept smiling politely. Of course, players above the 50th floor can rise to the 60th floor as long as they win one victory. Similarly, once they lose, they will be lowered to the 40th floor. The reception lady explained. Well, I know that. Lan Fei nodded. I heard that when you reach the 100th floor, it seems that there will be a special room for the contestants. Zushi blinked. That's right, little brother, you know a lot. The receptionist smiled slightly, and couldn't help touching Zushi's cute little head. It was the acting master who told me. Zushi pouted, looking cute and handsome, and then looked at Lan Fei. By the way, my name is Zushi. I watched your game just now. You are really strong. Well, my name is Lan Fei. Lan Fei didn't want to strike up too many conversations. After all, he has already practiced mindfulness, so he naturally doesn't care too much about the young Mrs. Zushi. Ding. Not long after, the 50th floor arrived, and the elevator door slowly opened. Lan Fei, how old are you this year? Seeing Lan Fei stepping out of the elevator, Zushi hurriedly followed. 13. Lan Fei felt helpless. So strong at the age of 13. It's amazing. By the way, what genre are you from? I am Xinyuan Liu Fist. Zushi still looked at Lan Fei enthusiastically. After all, he was a little excited to meet a child of his own age with great strength in the sky arena. School is bragging about breaking genres. Lan Fei joked. Bragging and breaking genres. Hearing this, Zushi was startled. Ha ha ha, I don't have a genre. Lan Fei scratched his head. Zushi is really cute. There is no genre. No one has guided it. Is it so strong? Zushi's eyes lit up, and he worshipped Lan Fei more and more. Zushi, you are doing well. At this moment, a gentle-looking young man wearing glasses walked over. This man was Zushi's acting master Wing. Thank you, Master Agent, it is my honor to have your guidance. Zushi clasped his hands together, very respectful. Who is this? Wing looked at Lan Fei and was about to ask, but Lan Fei had already walked away. Acting master, his name is Lan Fei, he is 13 years old. He is like me, he went straight to the 50th floor. I feel that his strength is much stronger than mine. Seeing the back of Lan Fei leaving, Zushi couldn't help frowning. Well, I also watched his game, this brat is not simple. I didn't expect that besides you, there would be a formidable brat around your age in this sky arena. Wing adjusted his glasses frame, a cold light flashed in his eyes. It's also on the 50th floor. I believe I will meet him later, and I will personally test his strength when the time comes. Zushi thought to himself. At his age, he is able to practice the exercises in the 4 major disciplines. According to Master Wing, he can be regarded as a rare genius in a century. Now that he sees Lan Fei, he has a faint feeling of comparison. Moreover, Zushi is also very confident that he will not lose to Lan Fei. It's just that a child is a child after all, and Lan Fei's strength is now the ceiling. Soon, Lan Fei came to the registration office on the 50th floor to receive the bonus, and handed the ticket he just got from the referee to the lady at the window. Mr. Lan Fei, this is the bonus you won the game just now. After a while, the young lady at the window handed out an envelope, which contained 152 ring coins. I almost forgot, the first level bonus is only the price of a bottle of soda. Lan Fei patted his forehead, it's more profitable to go up the 50th floor. After buying a bottle of soda with these coins, Lan Fei walked towards the lounge on the 50th floor. 2008 contestant Lan Fei, 1963 contestant Zushi, please go to Arena A on the 57th floor. However, just as Lan Fei was about to walk to the door of the lounge, a broadcast sound slowly spread throughout the corridor. So fast. Alright, rush to the 251st floor as soon as possible, get the money as soon as possible, and then go to HxH City. Lan Fei grinned and gulped down the soda he just bought in one gulp. Just as Lan Fei was walking towards Arena A on the 57th floor, night fell outside the Sky Arena building. The lights outside the building were bright, and the building was extremely dazzling inside. The cheers of the audience resounded like mountains and seas on every floor. Everyone, let's keep everyone waiting. The next group will be a different combination. The 2 players who will compete on stage are both very young teenagers. However, you can't underestimate them because of this. They all had excellent records in the initial battle on the 1st floor, and they are master fighters who climbed from the 1st floor to the 5th floor in one breath. Next, please enjoy their wonderful game from the VCR where they fought just now. Everyone, are you ready to press the betting button on your hand? Who do you like? Please place your bet. 10 minutes later, in Arena A on the 57th floor, the host's voice resounded throughout the venue, pushing the atmosphere to a climax. Chapter 40 winning 190 floors in a row, the youngest promotion record holder open black lens bracket seeking flower evaluation close black lens bracket. Beep 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 beep. As the audience placed their bets, the results of the betting votes were quickly announced on the big screen. 2,000 votes vs 2750 votes. The odds are Zushi has a slight advantage. What the hell, are these audiences brain dead? The odds of this young lady are even lower than your own. Lan Fei, who was on the stage, was completely speechless. He stared at the betting votes on the big screen, and his whole body became tense for a moment. Could it be because the little Jungtai Zushi defeated the fat man who weighed more than 200 caddies? Forget it, don't have the same knowledge as these people. Speak with strength. Lan Fei curled his lips, staring at Zushi standing opposite him calmly. At this moment, Zushi also stared at Lan Fei, with fighting spirit in his eyes. 2. This game adopts a 3-minute 3-round points knockout system. Start. Soon, as the referee's voice fell, the game began. Lan Fei, offended. Zushi took the lead in posing a fighting posture. However, Xiaojun is alone. Seeing Zushi posing decently and staring at him solemnly, Lan Fei showed disdain, put his hands in his pockets, and walked towards Zushi step by step. Boom. Suddenly, Zushi unleashes a set of forehand punches. Wow. After images flashed by, Lan Fei's figure at this moment had already circled behind Zushi, and then he kicked heavily on Zushi's back. Boom. As if struck by lightning, Zushi felt his whole body go numb and slowly fell to the ground. Of course, it was Lan Fei who released the water. After all, Zushi was still young, and Lan Fei didn't want him to lose so badly. 2 points. At this time, as the referee's voice sounded, the audience cheered one after another. This brat, what strength, what speed. Zushi, I'm afraid I'm going to lose. In the auditorium, Wing frowned, and his expression couldn't help but change. As Zuchi's acting master, as a Nen master, he can naturally see the disparity in strength between Lan Fei and Zuchi. Can you still fight? Seeing Zuchi lying motionless on the ground, the referee leaned down and asked. It doesn't matter. Zuchi gritted his teeth, stood up tremblingly, and then wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Lan Fei, you are really strong. It's worth my strongest move. Zuchi took a deep breath, and then changed positions. Boom. A terrifying aura erupted from Zuchi's body in an instant. This is Zuchi's reliance, the practice of reading the 4 lines. Well, not good. Seeing Zuchi make this move, Wing in the auditorium couldn't sit still and stood up directly. I know you can release and practice, and I admire you for being able to do this at such a young age. You are a genius just like Gon and Chiya. It's a pity that you met me. The practice I released is far beyond your imagination. Boom. In an instant, Lan Fei's eyes narrowed, and a more terrifying momentum burst out, crushing towards Zuchi like an endless abyss. Feeling this terrifying aura, Zuchi's eyes widened and his throat was dry. He stood motionless on the spot, unable to move under the pressure released by Lan Fei. His training in front of Lan Fei's training is like Wang Yangli's boat, which may be overturned at any time. Too terrifying. Zuchi swallowed. Even if he was the acting master, the practice he released was not as terrifying as Lan Fei, right? Indeed. For the 4 elements of reading, Lan Fei accelerated his practice through the practice space given by the system. Although it only took 2 or 3 hours, the speed of time flow is different under the practice accelerator. 2 or 3 hours is equivalent to decades. The training he released is just like the domineering in the pirates, domineering and terrifying. Humph. Seeing that Zuchi was able to persist for a while, Lan Fei couldn't help but snorted coldly, and a more terrifying momentum pressed forward, only to see Zuchi's eyes slowly widen, and his figure fell down, unconscious. Apparently, he had passed out. 8 points. Everyone, contestant 1963 has passed out. Although I don't know what move No 2008 used, but standing still can make No 1963 faint, and I can get full marks. Congratulations to contestant No 2008, successfully advanced to the 60th floor. At this time, the referee's voice resounded throughout the arena like a thunderclap, and not only cheers came from the auditorium, but also curses were mixed with it. Because someone lost the bet. This brat, the training that was released is too scary, isn't it? Even I feel uneasy and scared. Wing's figure flickered and landed on the side of the ring. He stared at Lan Fei, and then at Zuchi. He could feel Zuchi's breath, at least Zuchi was still alive. Accepted. Lan Fei turned around, stared at Wing with a half smile, then took the receipt printed out by the referee, turned and left gracefully. The 4 elements that I read compared to me. You're a little too tender, little lady. Lan Fei smiled and walked straight to the lobby on the 50th floor. After reaching the 60th floor and receiving a bonus of 50,000 yuan, Lan Fei did not choose to rest, but continued to challenge upwards. After all, this level of experience is nothing to Lan Fei. After a whole night of challenges, Lan Fei finally reached the 100th floor, and the bonus has already been 1 million. Moreover, there is a special treatment for advancing to the 100th floor, that is, having his own separate rest room. Of course, not all games were played all night, after all, there were too many people queuing up. But even so, Lan Fei did not choose to rest, but continued to challenge upwards. It didn't take long for Lan Fei to make a name for himself. After a night and a day of challenges, he finally successfully advanced to the 190th floor, and the bonus he got was as high as 200 million. 200 million bonus. Tisk tisk, I'm a billionaire too. Looking at the balance in his bank card, Lan Fei couldn't help but smacked his lips. This is quite a fortune. If Mito Aunt found out, he would be very excited, right? Soon, when the news spread that Lan Fei's winning streak had reached the 190th floor, his reputation shook the entire Sky Arena. After all, Lan Fei is just a 13-year-old kid, and it's crazy to be able to win 190 floors in a short day and night. Moreover, it can also be regarded as the youngest promotion record holder in the Sky Arena so far. Such a reputation is enough to attract the attention of supermasters above the 200th floor. Chapter 41 Lan Fei's goal, the strongest landlord. Open black lens bracket. Seek evaluation of flowers. Close black lens bracket. Ask for flower evaluation. Congratulations to player Lan Fei, once again won with his easy blow, successfully defeated the opponent on the 190th floor, and advanced to the 200th floor. After winning more than 200 million bonuses, Lan Fei directly challenged the opponent on the 190th floor. In this battle, Lan Fei was still extremely relaxed, knocking down the enemy with just one blow. After the battle figure of Lan Fei was broadcast on every floor by the big VCR screen, it attracted a lot of attention. Even the host in charge of the broadcast was very excited. He was attracted by Lan Fei's domineering little figure and became a veritable celebrity. Little girl. Great. It has reached level 200. In the lobby on the 50th floor, Zuchi stared excitedly at the screen of Lan Fei's battle on the big screen, and he was very excited. Although he was defeated by Lan Fei, at this moment, Lan Fei is the object of his admiration, and the obsession in his heart made him insist on becoming stronger. Only by becoming stronger can he catch up with Lan Fei. It's just that the current Zuchi is too weak, and Wing doesn't give him release training, and he still stays on the 50th floor. Perhaps, he still has a chance to meet Gon and Chiya, who came after obtaining the hunter qualification certificate. Zushi, you have to work hard. This kid, Lan Fei, may already have the strength to advance to the 251st floor. Wing adjusted his glasses frame, his eyes narrowed involuntarily, staring at Lan Fei's figure on the big screen. Acting master, Lan Fei is too powerful. I thought I was already a genius, but I didn't expect Lan Fei to be even more perverted. Zushi clenched his fists tightly, and in his heart he already regarded Lan Fei as a goal to strive to catch up with, and even to surpass. It's a pity that Zushi can't surpass Lan Fei even if he chases him for a lifetime. Mr. Lan Fei, go slowly. At the same time, at the elevator entrance on the 190th floor, the beautiful receptionist smiled politely at Lan Fei who walked into the elevator. Ding. Soon, the elevator doors closed. It's on the 200th floor. Lan Fei looked up and watched the elevator numbers keep jumping, and finally stopped at the 200th floor. Ding. 1. After a while, the elevator door opened again, and Lan Fei walked out towards the 200th floor. Mr. Lan Fei, the check-in counter is here. Please be sure to complete the 200th floor competition entry procedures within today. Just at a corner of the aisle, a beautiful receptionist came slowly. Understood. Lan Fei nodded. By the way, just to remind you, there are currently 150 players who have completed registration on the 200th floor. Of course, above the 200th floor, contestants can use weapons, and there will be no bonuses from the 200th floor upwards. All contestants are fighting for honor. The beautiful receptionist reminded with a smile on her face. Lan Fei didn't care about the reminder from the beautiful receptionist. He walked around the corner step by step and walked towards the registration counter. Hello, would you like to apply for the competition immediately? On this floor, the competition adopts the declaration battle system, that is, everyone has a 90-day battle preparation period. As long as it is during the battle period, the contestants can set their most desired days to participate. Of course, it's okay if the contestants want to fight every day, even if they don't participate in the battle every day during the period, it's okay. As long as they have participated in the competition once, they can get another 90 days of battle preparation period. Of course, if they are within the battle period if you don't participate in the competition, you will be eliminated, and all the records you have registered will be cleared. If you want to pass the 200th floor, you must win 10 wins here. However, if you lose 4 times before winning 10, you will also be eliminated. And after winning 10 wins, you will have the opportunity to challenge the host and become a prestigious host. The so-called landlords are the 21 contestants with the highest honors here. They are the landlords of the arena from the 230th floor to the 250th floor. As long as you challenge and win, you can successfully occupy this floor and become the new landlord. Quote. This is the rule for floors 200 and above. Inside the counter, a beautiful staff member with green hair explained politely. It seems that you must first win 10 wins to be eligible to challenge the landlord. Besides, even if you want to challenge the landlord, you must challenge the strongest one, the landlord on the 250th floor. Lan Fei grinned. Once he defeated the host on the 250th floor, he would become the strongest host in the Sky Arena so far. Help me apply for the competition. Lan Fei looked up and looked at the beautiful staff. Well, then please fill in the information on the application form. The beauty staff handed over the datasheet to Lan Fei. Okay, Mr. Lan Fei's lounge is number 2202. When the match date is decided, I will notify you immediately. After Lan Fei filled out the application form, the beauty staff handed Lan Fei a key with a number plate on it. Okay. When Lan Fei turned to leave, he saw 3 strange-looking guys lined up to fill out the application form. Gia, you are a pretty strong brat. He managed to reach the 200th floor in a row in just 1 day and 1 night. Little brother, see you on the field. As they passed by, a contestant who was wrapped tightly in red clothes laughed strangely. Lan Fei didn't care about the stares and ridicule of these contestants. After finding his room, Lan Fei saw the competition date on the TV screen. March 1st at 2 a.m. That's 2 o'clock in the morning tonight. It was arranged quite quickly. Looking at the time, it was 3 hours before 2 o'clock in the morning. Lan Fei had nothing to do, so he could only lie on the bed and rest. 3 hours later, Lan Fei, who was in a daze, was awakened by the sound of the radio. Chapter 42 8-foot Chongguyu, Lan Fei wins seeking flower evaluation. Call. At this time, the arena on the 200th floor was packed with 100,000 spectators, and the cheers were overwhelming. After all, only those above the 200th floor can be considered truly strong. For this reason, the audience did not hesitate to spend a lot of money, and also asked for a seat, so that they could witness the exciting battles in the arena up close. Everyone, the game at 2 o'clock in the morning tonight is quite eye-catching. First of all, Lan Fei, who advanced from the first floor to the 200th floor, reached the 200th floor in just 1 day and 1 night. Known as the youngest record holder in the history of the Colosseum, I am afraid it will be difficult to be surpassed in the future. Accompanied by the host's extremely excited voice resounding throughout the arena, Lan Fei's figure was slowly lifted from the ring lift to the ground. The player who played against Lan Fei is Gido. He has experienced 3 wins and 1 loss so far, and the record is very good. The overall performance is not bad. Immediately afterwards, the host announced Lan Fei's opponent, and at the other end of the ring, a strange man wrapped tightly in red clothes slowly rose to the ground in a lift. He was leaning on crutches, wrapped in red clothes all over his body, and looked extremely mysterious. It's this guy. With his feet in his pockets, Lan Fei stared calmly at the mysterious man wrapped in red in front of him. Gia, little brother, we meet again. The man in red smiled strangely. Then, the match begins. As the referee's voice fell, the cheers of the audience became louder and sharper. The guy with the spinning top. Lan Fei grinned, the player named Gido in front of him was no threat to him at all. Gia, little brother, I advise you to surrender quickly, or you won't have a chance to say it if you wait. Gido laughed bitterly, then raised his hand, and a spinning top slowly emerged in his palm, spinning at an extremely fast speed, and there was a faint crackling sound in the air. Wow, whoosh whoosh. Immediately afterwards, he waved his hand, and he sprinkled more than a dozen spinning tops on the ring, each spinning crazily at high speed, bouncing around the ring. The thought you issued should be to remove obstacles in the arena, right? Lan Fei stared at Gido with a half smile. Okay. Gido frowned. He didn't expect Lan Fei to see his thoughts from the very beginning, so what if you know? You can't beat me. Boom. As soon as Gido's words fell, the two tops collided instantly, and then one of them flew directly to Lan Fei at an extremely fast speed, and the high-speed rotation was mixed with terrifying power. However, this speed was not enough for Lan Fei at all. Lan Fei doesn't need to use Nen at all, relying on his own shiny fruit ability, it is enough to deal with it. Whoosh. Just as the spinning top flew over, Lan Fei turned sideways and dodged directly. Humph. It's so easy to dodge my spinning top, and this kid doesn't seem to show his Nen yet. Gido snorted coldly. All the spinning tops on the ring accelerated under his control, the speed was a little faster than before, and then they collided with each other and submerged towards Lan Fei. 8-foot mirror. Lan Fei grinned, his figure turned into a golden light and refracted out, and appeared behind Gido in the next second. Have you ever been kicked by the speed of light? Before Gido could react, Lan Fei kicked Gido's face directly, kicked his figure into the air, and smashed it against the wall of the auditorium. Rumble. The wall collapsed in an instant, and Gido stood up in embarrassment. 2 minutes. Suddenly, the referee exclaimed, his voice was high-pitched because of the excitement. Call. This kid is too powerful. With just one kick, Gido was sent flying. The speed of this kid is too terrifying, isn't it? Come on, kid. In an instant, the entire audience also cheered. What? Seeing Gido standing up tremblingly, Lan Fei was a little surprised. Did his light speed kick do so little damage? Oh, that's right. I almost forgot that this guy has used entanglement, and his defense has increased a lot. Lan Fei stared at Gido with a smile. Can you continue to fight? At this time, the referee outside the court looked at Gido and asked cautiously. Can? Gido gritted his teeth, his figure flickered, and landed on the ring again. Little devil, I was careless. I didn't expect you to have such amazing speed. Gido wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Go. Gido looked at Lan Fei coldly. After knowing Lan Fei's terrifying speed, he already knew how to defend. He saw that the spinning top on the ring rushed towards Lan Fei crazily again. Boom. Immediately afterwards, Gido's figure also spun extremely fast like a top, and the air current was faintly swirled by him. Appeared. Gido's nirvana of both offense and defense. Tornado spinning top. Seeing Gido make this move, the host's excited voice came from the audience. It's useless. Even if your body is spinning and has a strong defense, you still can't stop it with my shining fruit ability. 8-foot Chong Guyu. All of a sudden, Lan Fei jumped up, countless dazzling light bullets bloomed from his fingertips and drowned towards the Gido player. The dazzling golden light shone through the entire arena. Bang bang bang. The dense light bullets pierced through the void. Even though Gido's figure was spinning extremely fast, he still couldn't bounce back under the large-scale attack of the 8-foot Chong Guyu. Even in the entangled state, Gido couldn't last long with the harmfulness of the 8-foot Chong Guyu. Puff. What? As expected, the screams spread. It only lasted for 3 seconds, and the densely packed light bullets were directly forcibly broken without Gido unwinding them. And Gido, who was spinning extremely fast, gradually slowed down, and finally, what appeared in front of everyone was a corpse that had been beaten into a sieve by a light bullet. Blood slowly stained the arena red. Chapter 43 Fight against Washi Doro. Hisoka's former opponent open black lens bracket seeking flower evaluation close black lens bracket. Gido player he fell down. Suddenly, the host's voice resounded throughout the arena like a thunderclap. The winner is contestant Lan Fei. At this time, the referee outside the ring swallowed and shouted nervously. Because the fate of player Gido was too miserable, his whole body was pierced, he was beaten into a sieve, and the corner of the ring was stained red with blood. This. It's too miserable. Gido player died. What kind of moves did this kid Lan Fei use? His fingertips can emit dazzling golden light. Tornado top. That is the attack and defense move that Gido is most proud of. I didn't expect it to be broken. It's over. I've lost everything. I just put all my wealth on the player Gido. Don't judge people by their cover. This brat can fight all the way from the first floor to the 200th floor. How can it be easy? Suddenly, the audience was in an uproar, and all the audience cheered. Among them, some were shocked, some were aggrieved, and some admired. On the 50th floor, in front of the large VCR screen in the lobby. Wing stared at Lan Fei in shock. Acting master, this fellow Lan Fei shoots out light bullets with both hands. Could he have cultivated Nen? No wonder I can't beat him. This guy's strength is too abnormal. At such a young age, he can be so accomplished. I'm really envious. Now, I'm going to take Lan Fei as a goal to surpass. Zushi clenched his fists tightly, his eyes filled with a strong fighting spirit. Hands emitting golden light, Nen from Transmuter. Wing frowned, he didn't know the ability of Lan Fei's shining fruit, so he naturally took Lan Fei's moves as Nen. Can emit golden light, naturally it is Transmuter's Nen. However, from beginning to end, Lan Fei did not use the most basic 4 elements of Nen, so Wing did not know whether Lan Fei was considered Nen. However, only Nen can do this, and it has to be Transmuter's Nen. This brat is too perverted. Did he really cultivate it by himself? Wing adjusted his glasses frame, and an imperceptible cold light flashed in the lens. If he really cultivated it by himself, he would truly be a rare genius in 1,000 years. Contestant Lan Fei, congratulations on your victory. Please go back and rest, the time of the next game will be notified to you then. In the arena on the 200th floor, the referee looked at the calm Lan Fei and was secretly shocked. Even killing people can be so calm, what has this kid experienced? Okay. Lan Fei nodded, turned around and walked off the ring, towards his room. Who is the next opponent? If you want to win 10 wins, how long do you have to wait in line? After returning to his room, Lan Fei took a shower and then lay down on the bed. Forget it, why don't you wait here for Gon and Chi Ya? Lan Fei thought for a moment. If you become the owner of the 250th floor, you can wait for Chi Ya and Gon to come here, and then go to HxH City together. However, thinking that Gon would have to go to Kukulu Mountain to retrieve Chi Ya after obtaining the hunter qualification certificate, it would take a long time. Forget it, after taking the position of the landlord on the 250th floor, I will go to HxH City first. Since I have traveled to this world, no matter what, I have to find a girlfriend to play with. Lan Fei thought to himself. In his opinion, Nyan Nasla, the daughter of the gangster Nasra family in HxH City, is a good candidate, and she also has a predictable Nen. The short night passed like this. This is the 3rd day that Lan Fei came to the Sky Arena. Ding dong. Lan Fei, your next match is at 10 o'clock in the morning, and there are still 2 hours before the match. Please be fully prepared. At dawn, Lan Fei, who was sleeping comfortably, was awakened by a broadcast sound on the TV. 10 o'clock. It's not too slow. Lan Fei stretched, got up and walked into the bathroom. The morning sun was very bright, filling the entire towering Sky Arena building with infinite luster, as if it was covered with a layer of gold. 2 hours later. Today's match is contestant Lan Fei versus contestant Washi Dulong. At this moment, the atmosphere in the venue has long been too hot. Lan Fei is the hottest new star in the Sky Arena. He has fought from the 1st floor to the 200th floor without losing a single time. He has become the youngest record holder in history. Moreover, he also defeated Gido last night. Contestant, won the first battle on the 200th floor. Today, Lan Fei's opponent is Washi Dulong. His record is 9 wins and 1 loss. His record is very dazzling. He is close to the host, and his strength is even stronger than that of Gido. So, what will be the outcome of the next battle? Please wait and see. 2 players are invited to play. In the arena, the host's voice seemed to be more excited than last night's match. Washi Dulong. The elevator slowly carried Lan Fei to the ground, and then walked towards the ring step by step. For this person, Lan Fei still has some memories. This person's Nen can condense into a clone, and was finally knocked out by Hisoka. And Hisoka also won by breaking his hand. It has to be said that this guy does have the strength to directly rival the landlord. However, now that I have met Lan Fei, I am afraid that I will never have the chance to fight Hisoka again. Lan Fei. Washi Dulong walked towards the ring with a calm face, his eyes were also fixed on Lan Fei who was walking opposite. Now, Lan Fei's reputation has spread throughout the Sky Arena, Washi Dulong has also noticed it, especially last night's match between Lan Fei and Gido, he also watched it. This brat should be Nen from Transmuter. If you want to win him, you can only strike first. Washi Dulong secretly said, even if he wins against Gido, in Washi Dulong's eyes, Lan Fei is not a big threat. After all, he already has the strength to directly match the host. His biggest opponent is Hisoka, who was unable to defeat 2 years ago. Chapter 44 was targeted by members of Phantom Troupe. Open black lens bracket seek evaluation of flowers close black lens bracket. Everyone, both players have come to the ring, who will win the final victory, please wait and see. Also, don't forget the bet button in your hands. When Lan Fei and Washi Dulong stepped onto the stage, the high-pitched voice of the host brought cheers from all the audience, and the atmosphere of the audience began to push to a climax. Lan Fei, in just 1 day and 1 night, you reached the 200th floor, and even defeated Gido last night. I recognize your strength, even if it is me, it is difficult to win Gido in a short time. Dulong Washi stared at Lan Fei calmly. 2 years ago, you lost to Hisoka. If you met me this year, you probably won't have the chance to compete with Hisoka. Lan Fei grinned, his expression equally calm. Oh, you actually paid attention to my battle 2 years ago. Washi Dulong was slightly surprised. It's not about paying attention, but knowing it since childhood. Lan Fei pretended to be mysterious and said, really? Washi Dulong Quan took Lan Fei as a joke, and then continued, little devil, I will not show mercy, and besides, your strength does not require me to show mercy. Don't be merciful, use whatever means you can, otherwise, you won't have a chance later. Lan Fei shrugged, you're so young, you're not ashamed to speak big. Washi Dulong couldn't help narrowing his eyes. Then, the game starts now. At this time, the conversation between the two was planned by the referee, who saw the referee raised his hand high, and then withdrew from the ring. Little devil, I want to go up. Drink. When the referee exited the ring, Washi Dulong yelled sharply, his whole body began to release the wrap, and rushed towards Lan Fei. He has seen the battle between Lan Fei and Gido, and knows that Lan Fei's hands can release golden light, it should be Nen of Transmuter. Therefore, he can only strike first. Boom. In an instant, Washi Dulong stepped on his feet, his figure leapt high, and the wind of his palm slashed forward, piercing towards Lan Fei in the form of a sharp blade. Seeing this, Lan Fei turned slightly to one side, dodging Washi Dulong's blow. However, the next scene directly made the audience more excited. Lan Fei, who originally escaped the blow, was suddenly severely injured, and his arm was hit by a palm wind, and he was thrown away directly. Of course, the reason why Lan Fei let Washi Dulong hit on purpose is to make this match more exciting and exciting. What? Lan Fei's arm is broken. Didn't this kid escape Washi Dulong's attack? Yeah, I also saw him dodging, how could he still be hit? Did you see that the brat's arm is broken? My god, isn't this too cruel? Immediately, the entire audience exclaimed, is Lan Fei, the dark horse, going to be terminated by Washi Dulong? 2 points. Seeing this scene, the referee outside the court directly awarded Washi Dulong 2 points. Wow, what's going on? Lan Fei's arm is actually broken. At this time, the sharp voice of the host also spread throughout the audience. This is your avatar. Your Nen is nothing more than that. Lan Fei smiled, not caring about his broken arm. This is because he intentionally let Washi Dulong hit him. Otherwise, with his strength, Washi Dulong might not even be able to touch his hair. The most important thing is that Lan Fei wants to try the elementalization of the shiny fruit, just like the yellow ape, even if it is blown off by Skalakman Arpu, it can be condensed back. Okay. Hearing Lan Fei's words, Washi Dulong's pupils shrank suddenly, this kid could actually see his own secret. I know your secret, but, do you know me? With a move of Lan Fei's mind, the arm that was originally severed by Washi Dulong turned into dense beads of light, rushing towards his severed arm. Buzz. The light beads were extremely dazzling, as if they had been sutured, and my arm returned to its original state, and it seemed that there was nothing wrong with it. Tisk tisk, it really can be turned into elements, it is indeed a shining fruit. Lan Fei smacked his lips. Even if I break my limbs, I don't need sutures, and I can restore them to their original state by elementalization, which is even better than Phantom Troupe member Machi's stitching. In my impression, after Hisoka's arm was cut off by Washi Doro, it was Machi who sewed it up for him. How is this possible? Seeing that Lan Fei's arm was restored to its original shape and intact, Dulong Washi stared in disbelief. Even the referees on the side were dumbfounded, seeing such a weird scene for the first time. Wow, Lan Fei is so amazing, he can suture his broken arm. His arm turned into golden light, and finally returned to its original state. At this time, the high-pitched and excited voice of the host also resounded through the audience. Little devil, it's too powerful. Unbelievable, incredible. Fortunately, I bought you with my bet, and I almost went bankrupt. If the arm is broken, it can be brought back intact. This kind of strength can completely challenge the landlord. Yeah, although the landlord is perverted, this brat's strength is also perverted. Immediately afterwards, the cheers of the audience became more and more enthusiastic, all of them were shocked by the scene in front of them. I just want to try my own ability, otherwise, even if you have a clone, you won't be able to touch me at all. Lan Fei raised his head and stared at Washi Dulong with a half smile. Any other moves, use them as soon as possible, I'm in a hurry, otherwise, I'll make a move. You. Seeing Lan Fei, a little devil, belittled him so much, Washi Dulong was instantly enraged, and a strong killing intent flashed in his eyes. Tisk tisk. I originally planned to wait for Hisoka here, but I didn't expect to meet such an interesting kid with such abnormal strength. If it can be used, it is absolutely possible to let him join the brigade, but I don't know if the head of the brigade will agree. After all, his ability is too weird. In a corner of the auditorium, sat a woman with purple hair and a ponytail. She folded her arms and stared at Lan Fei on the ring with great interest. This person is none other than Machi, a member of Phantom Troupe. Chapter 35 2 Consecutive Victories, Who Can End the Dark Horse of Lan Fei? Open black lens bracket seek evaluation of flowers close black lens bracket. Just when Lan Fei was being watched by Phantom Troupe member Machi, in another corner of the auditorium, a tall, thin, dark-skinned man with curly hair was teasing a pet dog in his arms. Lan Fei. This kid's strength is not simple, and he is only 13 years old. If he can be allowed to join the bodyguards of the Nasra family, he must be able to deceive the world and achieve the purpose of catching people by surprise. After all, for the sake of Boss Nasra's ambition, we bodyguard members must protect the safety of Miss. Placing such a child next to Miss can completely paralyze those enemies who want to assassinate Miss. The dark-skinned man slowly raised his head, looking at Lan Fei on the ring, a strange light flashed in his eyes. This person, named Skawala, is a member of Nasra's bodyguards, has no hunter license, and has emitter ability. Previously, he was ordered by the boss of the Nasra family to come to the Sky Arena to find a powerful bodyguard for Miss Nyan. Of course, with the current status of the Nasra family, as long as the money is in place, there are still many people who are willing to pay. After all, right, the boss of the Nasra family, is now second only to the 10th old man. One step, it is possible to occupy the seat of the 10 old men. Isn't this kid's ability too weird? At this time, on the ring, Dulong Washi stared at Lan Fei with a serious face, and he could heal and suture a broken arm by himself. Take out your strongest moves. I've seen through the nen that you can create clones. Lan Fei grinned. He knew Washi Dulong was going to use his strongest move next. HMPH, don't be too happy. Tiger bites the real punch. Washi Dulong snorted coldly, and saw that his outstretched fingers were like tiger claws, lingering with green light, and the dazzling power mixed with it. Boom. In an instant, Washi Dulong stepped on his feet and attacked Lan Fei again. Look, Washi Dulong has made another move. I don't know if this attack can cause fatal damage to player Lan Fei. Seeing Washi Dulong rushing towards Lan Fei, the host's voice instantly rose, resounding throughout the arena. Fancy attack. Lan Fei watched Washi Dulong rushing over with a calm face, his figure as calm as a mountain, and then slowly raised his right hand. Laser raise. When Washi Dulong rushed to a distance of 3 meters from Lan Fei made a move. Phew. Boom. A golden laser shot out from Lan Fei's finger, directly piercing Washi Dulong's body, and then there was a piercing explosion. Whoosh. Suddenly, a figure appeared behind Lan Fei, which was Washi Dulong's real body. Obviously, the figure rushing towards Lan Fei was his clone. This time, I'm going to take your head off. Washi Dulong's voice rang coldly in Lan Fei's ears. Faint with clone. You underestimate me too. Lan Fei raised his hand and pointed his finger backwards. Boom. Another burst of laser light shot out, directly piercing Washi Dulong's left chest, accompanied by a stream of blood splashing out. Washi Dulong's figure slowly flew backwards, and then there was a loud explosion sound from his body. Even if you stay entangled, you won't be able to stop the damage from my shiny fruit. Lan Fei turned around slowly, looking at Washi Dulong who had fallen on the ring. Puff. Washi Dulong's eyes widened. He coughed up blood continuously, his left chest was pierced by the laser light, and a blood hole exploded directly, the vitality in his eyes gradually disappeared. After all, the position of the left chest is exactly the position of the heart. Obviously, Washi Dulong's heart had been pierced through, and even his entire chest was blasted to a bloody mess. Look, I said you have no chance. Lan Fei shrugged, turned and left the ring. Washi Dulong fell, and Lan Fei won. Glancing at Lan Fei's leaving back, the referee outside the ring slowly raised his hand, announcing the result of the match with horror on his face. Wow, it's Lan Fei winning again. Washi Dulong fell, and Lan Fei won too. It's amazing. Washi Dulong, who had 9 victories and 1 loss, was defeated by player Lan Fei just like that. Who can end Lan Fei, the dark horse? It seems that only those 21 landlords have this ability. At this time, the excited voice of the host resounded through the audience, which in turn drove the atmosphere of the audience. Mom, isn't it too strong? This brat won too easily. Easy. Washi Dulong has 9 wins and 1 loss, and his strength is close to that of the host. Now that he is defeated, it can only show that Lan Fei is really good. Yeah, this brat is fully capable of taking the seat of the landlord. Fortunately, I put all my wealth on this brat, and if it really didn't disappoint me, I'm going to become a billionaire. I lost everything, it's over, I'm going to beg on the street. Damn Washi Dulong. Soon, the audience cheered one after another, some people were surprised, some were disappointed, but most of them were shocked and appalled. It's over. The strength of this brat is indeed unbelievable. In a corner of the auditorium, Machi was leaning against the wall with her arms folded, staring calmly at Lan Fei leaving the ring. With this brat's strength, he should be able to challenge the landlord. When he occupies one of the 21 landlords, he should leave. I have to find an opportunity to meet this brat. If I can invite him to be Mrs. Bodyguard, Mrs. Safety will not have to be worried. Of course, with the current reputation and money of this brat, I'm afraid it will be difficult to hire him. We have to think of other ways. In another corner of the auditorium, Skawala slowly put down the pet dog in his arms, turned and left the venue. Behind him, the pet dog followed him bouncingly. Chapter 46 The Mysterious 21 Landlords Open Black Lens Bracket Seeking Flower Evaluation Close Black Lens Bracket. After winning the second game on the 200th floor, Lan Fei did not go back to the room, but chose to go to the top restaurant on the 200th floor. Because he was hungry. It has to be said that the Sky Arena takes good care of the daily life of the contestants. Like the contestants on the 200th floor, the food and accommodation are quite luxurious. And gourmet chefs in top restaurants are almost as skilled as gourmet hunter. There are still 8 victories left to challenge the landlord, but the identities of the 21 landlords have always been a mystery. Lan Fei simply ordered some of his favorite dishes, and then found a seat by the window and sat down. Indeed, although Lan Fei is a time traveler, in his impression, the identities of the 21 landlords were not mentioned in the original work. Moreover, even after Hisoka won 10 consecutive victories, he was not interested in challenging the host. Lan Fei has also guessed the reason, either because he is not interested, or those landlords are monsters who are in a mess, Hisoka is cowardly. However, this is a bit out of Hisoka's character. There is another possibility, or it is not strong at all, and Hisoka is not interested. Or there are flaws, like those 3 cripples, Washi Dulong, etc., who have combat power but are easy to crack, or under the rules, the way of fighting will always be affected by the rules. Hisoka wants to die without rules fight. Of course, Lan Fei has also watched some theatrical versions. The theatrical version said that Netero was the leader of the 250th floor when it was the first in the world. Therefore, Lan Fei also thinks that the building owner on the top floor should be one of the top 5, otherwise it would be difficult to sit on the 250th floor. If it's just a ring type, only a little stronger than Washi Dulong, then Lan Fei, like Hisoka, has no interest in challenging the host at all. A guy like Washi Dulong can get 9 wins and 1 loss, and if he wins one more game, he can challenge the host. Presumably the host is not very strong. Forget it, don't care about that, first win the 10 wins, and get the qualification to challenge the landlord. Lan Fei shook off his thoughts, and began to feast on the food in front of him. Lan Fei. Just as Lan Fei was eating delicious food with relish, a voice came over. Lan Fei looked up. His face was stunned. It turned out to be Zushi, the young lady, and his acting master Wing. Why are you here? This is the restaurant on the 200th floor. Lan Fei was very surprised. Logically, Zushi is not qualified to go up to the 200th floor. The restaurant is open to the public. There is no limit to the level of players on the floor. Of course, if you want to live on the 200th floor, you need to register. Wing explained. I see. Lan Fei nodded. Lan Fei, you are amazing. From the first floor all the way to the 200th floor, and even won 2 consecutive victories in the first battle on the 200th floor, it's so strong. Lan Fei, you are my idol now. Zushi looked at Lan Fei excitedly, his eyes were blazing, full of admiration. Zushi, with your talent, I believe it won't be long before you can reach the 200th floor. Lan Fei also felt helpless for Zushi, a young lady. By the way, Wing, I have a question for you. At this time, Lan Fei wiped the corner of his mouth and looked up at Wing. Please say. Wing nodded. Do you know the identities and strengths of the 21 landlords? Lan Fei said seriously. The identities and strengths of the 21 landlords. I don't know much about their identities, but for their strength, I'm sure that each of them is at the top level. As for how strong, few people know. Because you are qualified to challenge the landlord if you can win 10 consecutive victories, and it is very difficult to win 10 consecutive victories. Of course, a pervert like you should easily win 10 consecutive victories. Originally, Washi Dulong was the most hopeful to challenge the host. After all, he has already won 9 and lost 1, but he was defeated by you in the end. If you want to know the identity and strength of the posters, you can only reveal it if you win 10 consecutive victories. Wing adjusted his glasses frame, thought for a moment before speaking. So secretive. Lan Fei shook his head with a wry smile. Alright Zushi, you also saw Lan Fei, it's time to go back. The current you are only on the 50th floor. When you become stronger, you may have the hope of climbing to the 200th floor. At that time, Lan Fei should be the landlord of a certain floor. When you get 10 consecutive victories on the 200th floor, you can challenge Lan Fei again. Wing touched Zushi's little head. Okay. Zushi pouted, and then looked at Lan Fei with a smile, his eyes full of fighting spirit. Lan Fei, you must become the landlord, and I will definitely become stronger. When the time comes, I will challenge you again. You little lady. Lan Fei didn't know what to say, so he could only watch Zushi and Wing leave. Wong. Woof woof. Not long after Zushi and Wing left, a pet dog walked into the restaurant, ran directly to Lan Fei's feet, and barked around him a few times. Second idiot. At this time, Skawala's voice came over, and he was walking towards Lan Fei step by step, and gave the pet dog a hard look. Seeing this, the pet dog could only lower its head, like a child who has done something wrong, walked up to Skawala side by side, and rubbed around his heels affectionately. I'm sorry, this is my pet dog, which surprised you. Skawala greeted Lan Fei politely. Hello, my name is Skawala. Lan Fei, nice to meet you, I watched your challenge on the 200th floor, you are really strong. You are the youngest contestant with the best record I have ever seen. Skawala smiled slightly. Skawala. Lan Fei was startled, full of doubts. He looked at Skawala, then at the pet dog under his feet, and recognized it immediately. Isn't this a bodyguard member of the Nasra family in HxH City? A bodyguard dedicated to protecting Nyan, the daughter of the Nasra family. What is he doing here? As a bodyguard, shouldn't he be by Nyan's side at all times? New Year's Day A Chapter 47 Invitation from Phantom Troupe member Machi. As the bodyguard of the Nasra family, you can come to the Sky Arena to watch the game so freely. Lan Fei looked at Skawala with a calm face. Oh. You know me. Hearing this, Skawala's face changed slightly. Few people knew his identity, but he didn't expect to know this 13-year-old boy who had won the highest honor in the Sky Arena. As a new gangster family, the Nasra family naturally understands a little bit. Lan Fei nodded, and stared at Skawala with a half-smile. As Miss Nyan's bodyguard, don't you stay by her side to protect her all the time, are you coming to this Sky Arena for vacation? Vacation. Skawala shook his head, he stared at Lan Fei, and said sternly, Mr. Lan Fei, with your current strength, you can completely occupy the seat of the 21 landlords, and my Nasla family, as the new owner of HxH City, the strength and financial resources of Jin's gangster family can be imagined, so I want to cooperate with Mr. Lan Fei, I wonder if Mr. Lan Fei is interested. Cooperate. Lan Fei shook his head and stood up directly, sorry, I like freedom. Mr. Lan Fei, the Nasra family can provide you with the status and money you want. Seeing Lan Fei standing up, Skawala continued to speak, not wanting to give up. Status. Money. With all due respect, the Nasra family can't satisfy me. Lan Fei said lightly. Mr. Lan Fei, Miss Nyan needs a strong man like you. Seeing money and status can't move Lan Fei, so Skawala can only move out Miss Nyan. Miss Nyan needs it. Lan Fei, who was about to turn around, paused, then turned and stared at Skawala. If I want to protect her, I don't need you to invite me. Besides, I have a habit of only doing what I want. If I don't want to do it, even if Miss Niwing dies in front of me, I won't be moved. This. Skawala shook his head helplessly. It seems that this guy came to the Sky Arena to find bodyguards for Miss Niang under the orders of the boss of the Nasra family. Lan Fei shrugged and walked straight out of the restaurant. Lan Fei also has some ideas about Nyan. Although she is the daughter of the Nasra family, she has always been just a pawn for her father to climb up. In front of her father, she has more power than her daughter. Therefore, Nyan is unlucky to have such an ambitious father. Although he is a gangster daughter, his life is not happy. Since we made an appointment with Gon to meet in Ukexan City, let's find another chance to meet Nyan by chance and meet this gangster daughter. After walking out of the restaurant, Lan Fei walked through the long corridor towards his room. Okay. Just when Lan Fei was about to return to the room, he found that standing by the door of his room was a beautiful woman with a ponytail and purple hair. This person was Machi, a member of Phantom Troupe. With her arms folded and her face smiling, the beautiful woman was looking towards Lan Fei. Are you being targeted? Lan Fei shook his head and smiled wryly, then walked slowly towards the room. His current performance in the Sky Arena has probably attracted the attention of many parties. Is there something wrong? Lan Fei walked to the door, staring at the purple-haired beauty with a calm face. Little devil, I'm very interested in you. Machi said with a smile. Many people are interested in me. Lan Fei grinned, not paying attention. With your strength, you can completely challenge the landlord's position. Machi continued. And then, Lan Fei stared carefully at the purple-haired beauty in front of him. I want to invite you to be my partner. If you become the landlord, I believe the group leader will agree. Machi cut to the chase. Invite me to be your partner. Captain. Hearing this, Lan Fei looked at the purple-haired beauty carefully, and quickly found the impression in his memory. Phantom Troupe. Machi. Lan Fei was a little surprised. Okay. This time, it was Machi's turn to be surprised. This 13-year-old boy in front of him, a new dark horse in the Sky Arena and the youngest record holder in history, actually knows the existence of Phantom Troupe. There are only two conditions to join Phantom Troupe. One is to kill the existing member and replace him. The other is to be invited by the leader. Invitation to join. You don't have such power, do you? After knowing Machi's identity, Lan Fei smiled and said, of course, I can kill you now and take your place. You know about the existence of Phantom Troupe at such a young age. Now, I am more interested in you. Machi also stared at Lan Fei with a smile. Sometimes curiosity can kill. Also, I'm not interested in you spiders. Lan Fei grinned. Boom. Soon, the door was closed by Lan Fei, leaving only Machi standing outside the door blankly. This brat is so interesting. It will be fun if he can join the brigade. Machi smiled. Although she was rejected by Lan Fei, this strengthened her determination to win over Lan Fei. Why did the Spider-Man also appear in the Sky Arena? Back in the room, Lan Fei stood by the window, looking at the blue sky and white clouds outside the window, chasing the memories in his mind very quickly. For Hisoka, after a while, Lan Fei remembered. The reason Machi appeared here was because of Hisoka. After all, the current Hisoka is already a member of the Spider, and Hisoka will also come to the Sky Arena to participate in the competition after obtaining the Hunter Qualification Certificate. Tisk tisk. I didn't expect that after exposing my strength, I would be paid attention to by many parties. Not only was I invited by the Nasra gangster family, but even Phantom Troupe reached out to me. Lan Fei smacked his lips. Join Phantom Troupe. I have no interest at all. On the contrary, Lan Fei is more interested in Miss Niang, the daughter of the Nasra family. Ding dong. Mr. Lan Fei, your next game time is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Suddenly, at this moment, the sound of the radio slowly spread to Lan Fei's room. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Lan Fei nodded, and laughed to himself. According to this speed, you should be able to win 10 consecutive victories soon. Gon, Chiya, if you come to the Sky Arena, you will find that I have become. Will you be surprised by the host? Chapter 48. Finally, the real identity of the landlord on the 250th floor can be revealed. Open black lens bracket seeking flowers evaluation close black lens bracket. The opponent in the third challenge was a man named Sadaso. For this person, Lan Fei still knows a little bit, and he is in the same group as the previous Gido. Moreover, Sadaso's strength is much stronger than Gido's. Unfortunately, I met Lan Fei. The end is obvious. Just like Gido, he was caught by Lan Fei in seconds. After winning 3 games in a row, Lan Fei's 4th game was against Realbelt. Call. In the arena, the cheers were still overwhelming, pushing the atmosphere to its climax. Lan Fei, come on. Lan Fei, kill this wheelchair user. Lan Fei, I put all my wealth on you. Lan Fei, continue the winning streak. We also want to see the strength of the 21 hosts. Little devil, let us see the identities of the mysterious 21 landlords. Yeah, for more than 3 years, I have never seen the real appearance of the 21 hosts. In the audience, the voices were overwhelming, and almost everyone put their bets on Lan Fei. Because so far, Lan Fei has never been defeated, and such a record is enough for them to trust. Lan Fei's fourth opponent is Realvelt player. I don't know if player Realvelt can stop Lan Fei's footsteps. Lan Fei, the dark horse, can he really win 10 consecutive victories as he wishes, and get the qualification to challenge the landlord? At this time, the excited voice of the host spread to every corner of the venue. Little ghost, I hope you don't let me down. I also want to see the true identities of the legendary 21 landlords. In a corner of the venue, Machi crossed his arms and leaned against the wall, staring calmly at Lan Fei on the ring. If you can win one of the 21 landlords, the head of the group should not reject you. Machi had a beautiful smile on his face. Hey, it seems that we still have to think of other ways. With the reputation and status of this kid, he doesn't even bother to be the Nasra family's bodyguard. In another corner of the venue, Skawala took a deep look at Lan Fei on the ring, then turned and left the venue. Behind him, a pet dog named Urhan bouncing after him. This time, Schwala's task is to find a powerful bodyguard for the daughter of the Nasra family. However, in the current Sky Arena, only Lan Fei can be valued by him, because Lan Fei has you can challenge the landlord, and even become the strength of the landlord. Such a master is enough to protect the safety of Miss Newing. As for the other players, Skawala didn't like them at all, because these people were just half-baked. Moreover, for the real identity and strength of the 21 landlords, Skawala is not uninterested at all, and naturally he does not want to stay here. Lan Fei, come on. At this time, Zuchi's voice came from the auditorium, and he stood up excitedly and kept waving his hands. Beside Zuchi, acting master Wing stared at Lan Fei on the ring with a calm face. Even before the game started, he had already guessed the ending. The game adopts a points-overwhelming system, and the time is not limited. Start. Outside the arena, the referee slowly raised his hand. Realvelt. Lan Fei smiled. He also had a little impression of this opponent. He was defeated by Chia at the beginning. It's a pity that now I have met myself. 8-foot mirror. As soon as the referee finished speaking, Lan Fei's figure turned into a golden light and appeared behind Realvelt in an instant. So fast. Realvelt was taken aback, and then shouted, explosive propulsion. Boom. I saw Realvelt's wheelchair burst out with a powerful propulsion force, as if the propeller had been turned on, and flew forward at extreme speed. Interesting. Lan Fei's figure turned into golden light again, and then appeared above Realvelt's head again. Realvelt's face was shocked. This speed is too abnormal. Indeed, how can propulsion be compared with the speed of light? Boom. Lan Fei directly kicked at the speed of light and landed on Realvelt's body. Realvelt had no time to react, and the figure flew upside down along with the wheelchair, and hit the wall of the auditorium outside the ring, directly knocking down the wall. Puff. With just one kick, Realvelt was seriously injured. He coughed up blood, and looked at Lan Fei with panic. Now, he finally knows the gap between himself and Lan Fei. Another simple kick. Lan Fei is really amazing. Seeing that Realvelt was seriously injured, the host's excited voice spread throughout the audience. Nice job, little devil, good job. Kicking player Realvelt into a serious injury with one move, it's so explosive. Ha ha ha, I'm going to become a billionaire, kid, you're amazing. Immediately, exclamations came from the audience. Realvelt, can you continue to fight? At this time, the referee looked carefully at the seriously injured Realvelt. Cough. Just as Realvelt was about to speak, a mouthful of blood gushed out of his mouth again. I surrender. The pale Realvelt fell slowly, unconscious again. Congratulations to player Lan Fei, for winning 4 consecutive victories. Seeing Realvelt fall down, the referee announced the result instantly. Congratulations Lan Fei, 10 victories in a row, and the qualification to challenge 21 hosts. 5 days later, as the referee announced the result of the 10th game, Lan Fei finally won 10 consecutive victories and became the first youngest player to qualify for the challenge. Of course, this record is likely to be surpassed by no one. Because, Lan Fei has never been defeated so far. It can be said that among the same age, Lan Fei is the best, bar none. 10 consecutive victories, finally won. Finally, the identity of the owner of the 250th floor can be revealed. Lan Fei clenched his fists, then turned and walked off the ring. Chapter 49 12 Earthly Branches, Shen Sayu Open Black Lens Bracket Seeking Flower Evaluation Close Black Lens Bracket. Acting Master, Lan Fei, he really did it. 10 consecutive victories on the 200th floor, without a loss record, is simply too abnormal. Seeing Lan Fei leave, Zuchi sitting in the auditorium looked at Wing beside him with excitement. At the age of 13, he reached the 200th floor, and he was able to win 10 consecutive victories on the 200th floor. With such strength, he can indeed challenge the landlord. I just don't know which floor owner Lan Fei is going to challenge. Wing nodded. The identities and strengths of the 21 landlords have always been a mystery, because very few people can win 10 consecutive victories on the 200th floor and get the qualification to challenge them. But, now Lan Fei has done it. It really didn't disappoint me. 10 victories in a row can challenge the landlord. I don't know which floor's landlord this kid wants to challenge. Machi couldn't help narrowing her beautiful eyes. The 21 owners of the Sky Arena have always been mysterious, just as mysterious as her phantom troupe leader. What is the identity of the landlord on the 250th floor? As soon as he walked back to the room, Lan Fei began to fantasize. Ding dong. Congratulations to player Lan Fei, who has won 10 consecutive victories and is qualified to challenge the host. Of course, you don't need to queue up to challenge the landlord, you just need to take the elevator to the floor you want to challenge. Besides, challenging the landlord is the highest standard and most secret competition in the Sky Arena, so it will not be made public. At this moment, a broadcast sound came from the TV screen. Will it not be made public? Lan Fei frowned. Ding dong. Contestant Lan Fei, the time for you to challenge the landlord is expected to be at 2 o'clock in the morning. At this time, 21 building directors will be challenged by you. Of course, if the hosts didn't respond or were absent, then you are the new host of this floor. The broadcast sound came out again. Absence counts. Lan Fei was startled. Could it be that the 21 landlords have been living on their own floors and not going out for a stroll? Players Lan Fei, please get ready. If you give up the challenge at this point in time, it is equivalent to abstention, and it is considered a failure. At that time, if you want to challenge the landlord again, you can only continue to complete the 10-game winning streak qualifying round. The broadcast sound reminded. 2 o'clock in the morning. Lan Fei nodded. Just when Lan Fei was fantasizing about the identity of the landlord on the 250th floor, he won 10 consecutive victories, and the news that he was qualified to challenge the landlord also sounded in the corridor of the 21 landlords. Lan Fei, 13. Going from the first floor to the 200th floor in 1 day and 1 night, and winning 10 consecutive victories on the 200th floor in 5 days, it is considered abnormal for the same age. I don't know which floor this kid will challenge. On the 229th floor, in the spacious hall, an old man with gray temples is slowly taking off his Taoist uniform, revealing a strong and sturdy body. He is the owner of the 229th floor. Lan Fei, 13 years old. From Whale Island. Isn't that Kim Free's hometown? Jin was already very perverted back then, and now a little pervert has appeared. Isn't this Whale Island some kind of geomantic treasure? On the 330th floor, in the kitchen, which is as big as the living room, a petite beautiful woman is making her favorite dessert cake. Lan Fei, a 13-year-old kid. Not simple, not simple. From the first floor to the 200th floor, there has never been a negative record, and even 10 consecutive victories are so easy. I really hope to fight against him and test his strength with my own hands. On the 331st floor, in the training ground, a middle-aged man in a loose Taoist robe sitting cross-legged slowly opened his eyes. The 332nd floor, 333rd floor, 334th floor, 349th floor, the landlord of each floor, all got the news that Lan Fei had won 10 consecutive victories and got the qualification to challenge the landlord. Most of these landlords live in their own floors, living a life of both money and reputation. Moreover, they seldom feel pressured. After all, they are already strong enough to sit in the position of host. Their only pleasure is to wait for others to challenge them. Over the years, there are very few people who can win 10 consecutive victories and get the qualification to challenge the landlord, let alone a 13-year-old boy like Lan Fei. So, they were all curious, how perverted is Lan Fei, this kid? 250th floor. This is the floor with the highest reputation and prestige in the Sky Arena. The owner of the 250th floor is recognized by everyone as the most powerful person in the entire Sky Arena, not one of them. Of course, above the 250th floor, there is the highest floor, the 251st floor, but this floor is reserved for the winners of the biennial fighting tournament, and it is not fixed. Lan Fei, only 13 years old. I come from the same hometown as Kim Free's. Kim was very perverted back then. I didn't expect that there will be someone more perverted than him now. What a Whale Island. There are many outstanding people. I just don't know which floor the host will choose to challenge. If he chooses the 250th floor, it can only be said that this brat is very confident in himself. Of course, after so many years, I am also waiting for someone who can defeat me. On the sofa by the window, sat a tall and thin man with moon and star patterns on his arms. This man was Shen Saiyu among the members of the 12 earthly branches. He was not only a 2-star bounty hunter, but also a super powerful strong fighter. And this 12 earthly branches is the most mysterious and powerful hunter organization in the Hunter Committee. In the blink of an eye, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. Lan Fei walked out of the room full of expectations and walked towards the elevator. Since stepping into the Sky Arena, his goal has been very clear and firm, that is to become the most powerful 250th floor owner in the history of the Sky Arena. Ding. Soon, the elevator door opened, and Lan Fei walked in slowly with his hands in his pockets. Immediately afterwards, the elevator floor kept beating, and finally stopped at the 250th floor. Chapter 50. The most mysterious organization in the Hunter Association. Floor 250. Lan Fei took a deep breath, and walked out slowly the moment the elevator door opened. Tisk tisk, the landlord's treatment is really not simple, the whole floor is for him to live alone. The entire floor here is about the size of a football field. Really luxurious. It's no wonder that so many people want to be qualified to challenge the landlord, they all want to become the landlord. This is not only a representative of strength, but also a representative of reputation. Stepping out of the elevator, Lan Fei took a careful look at the 250th floor, and was instantly shocked by the extremely luxurious decoration in front of him. What is grandeur? What is a symbol of fame and status? Here is the best testimony. The resplendent lighting and the floor of the aisle seemed to be covered with gold, dazzling, showing nobility and luxury. Who actually lives on the 250th floor? Lan Fei is really curious, what kind of existence can gain a foothold in the highest level of the sky arena and live a fairy-like life? Okay. The moment Lan Fei stepped out of the elevator, she was spotted by Shen Saiyu, who was sitting on the sofa by the window in the spacious hall. As a member of the 12 earthly branches, Shen Saiyu's strength is beyond doubt. Every member of the 12 earthly branches has their own best aspects, and each one is a super master of Nen. For example, Paris Stone Hill, Samsung Hunter, the former vice president of the Hunter Association, and the 13th generation president. He is very popular in the Hunter Association, has his own vice president's personal guard, has superb negotiating skills and a strategy of manipulating people, and says to himself that, you will feel happy when you are hated by others. It is Bamen Netero, the son of President Netero, who is placed undercover in the association. Like Potter by Gigante, 3-star terrorist hunter, prosecutor, military analyst, and the R********M among the 12 earthly branches, people who are closest to President Netero in terms of reputation and strength. Another example is Jin, Freecy SS, the 2-star relic hunter, the prodigal son of the 12 earthly branches, one of the world's top 5 Nen, Gon's father, and the producer of Greed Island. Possesses an astonishing talent, and can imitate 80 to 90% of the striking ability as long as it is hit once. Like Mahastan Nana, the 2-star crime hunter, and the lawyer who runs a private security company. The conscience among the 12 earthly branches, a person with common sense recognized by the non-chairman faction. All acts of violence are prohibited and have special search powers. Nen is a closed-room referee, who restricts the opponent's actions by presenting 3 colored cards to the opponent. Blue can make the opponent go to court, yellow can restrain the opponent, and red can make the opponent leave the seat. There is also Saiyu, the host on the 250th floor. The weapon is a wishful stick. Nen is the 3 Nen beasts of seeing monkey, listening monkey, and talking monkey. Unable to activate and maintain one's own abilities, the enhancer will be in chaos after being hit, or the movement is extremely easy to predict due to the flow of chi, and then use the Rui stick to fight it. It can be said that the 12 earthly branches are the most powerful existence in the Hunter Association. Everyone's Nen is abnormal, and they all have their own code names. The owner of the 250th floor, Saiyu, is codenamed Shen. This brat is so confident that he chose to challenge the highest 250th floor. Looking at his introverted aura, he should not be the kind of vicious person. Being able to challenge the landlord of the 250th floor at the age of 13 is probably unique in the entire sky arena. Sensing Lan Fei's breath, Saiyu couldn't help but smacked his lips. You know, he is the owner of the 250-story building. With his strength, the circle released is enough to cover the entire floor, so when Lan Fei stepped out of the elevator, Saiyu spotted him. Little ghost, I'll wait for you in the living room. Saiyu spoke slowly, his voice echoed throughout the 250 floors like a radio. This is the voice of the landlord on the 250th floor. Lan Fei looked around curiously, and was soon startled by Saiyu's voice. Listen to this voice, it seems that you are not old. Lan Fei thought to himself, walking slowly along the aisle towards the living room. After walking for about 5 minutes, Lan Fei's pupils shrank suddenly. Under his sight, a thin man appeared. The man was sitting on the sofa by the window, looking at him with a smile on his face. Is he the owner of the 250th floor? Lan Fei was very surprised. The person in front of me is too thin, right? Just like a monkey, with patterns of moons and stars on his arms, his dress is almost the same as the monkey brother who was crushed under the 5 Fingers Mountain in Lan Fei's memory. No matter how you look at it, you don't look like a super expert. Lan Fei thought to himself, walking towards Saiyu step by step. Little ghost, congratulations on your 10th consecutive victory. You are only 13 years old. I am amazed by your strength. Moreover, you have chosen to challenge the 250th floor. You are really brave. Seeing Lan Fei approaching, Saiyu also looked at Lan Fei with a smile. I was surprised to see you too. I didn't expect that the landlord on the 250th floor would be a thin uncle. It's quite different from what I imagined. Lan Fei went straight to Saiyu. Sit down, don't be nervous. It has been many years since no one went up to the 250th floor to chat with me. Saiyu gestured for Lan Fei to sit down. I'm here to challenge. Lan Fei was a little dazed, figure it out, he wasn't here to chat about family matters. Not urgent. It's not easy for you to be such an interesting kid. I don't want you to go back to the 200th floor so soon. Saiyu tilted his head, stared at Lan Fei carefully, and continued, by the way, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Saiyu, and I am the landlord of the 250th floor. Saiyu. Lan Fei kept rummaging through the memories in his mind, and soon came up with the answer. Saiyu, a member of the 12 earthly branches of the Hunter Association, codenamed Shen. This, you brat, you know the existence of the 12 earthly branches. This time, it was Saiyu's turn to be surprised, and then shocked. You know, the 12 earthly branches is the most mysterious organization in the Hunter Association, and very few people know about it. How did the 13-year-old boy in front of him know about it?